Yours lagging really bad.
It's lagging a bit.
Fuck it. We'll just skip it this time.
Squeak,
Lagging
squeak.
too bad.
We'll do it
All right.
live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck
Kapla!
it.
Frederick!
Fucking thing sucks.
Bonsoir. How's everybody
I don't
doing?
know what's going on. I'm tired of dealing with that. I don't care.
It's the internet, you know.
Hello, internet.
You can
Welcome
have
to
things that
Otter
work or be
Theory.
on time, or we can't have both.
I'm just not messing with it. I'm not going to figure out what's going on. I don't know. Anyways, Frederick.
How you doing? Right on
Umbrella?
time.
Hello.
I got
Otter.
a new.
Who let the water weasel in?
I'm going to stab you, Frederick. I'm going to stab you.
Listen, I got a new lamp. Okay, I'm celebrating. Got 2 lamps now. I'm well lit. This is an important moment in my career.
Alrighty. Alrighty. What? Oh, shit.
Hey,
I'm
it does help to see.
It really does.
It does.
Listen, I thought you were going to show us your another pin 15 you got. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I got this. I ordered the super expensive Faber-Castell black just to see what it's going to be like. So whenever I get whatever like commission I get at the time is going to get really nice looking blacks. I'm going to test it out, but it's really expensive, so I don't know if I'm going to buy it.
Man, how much did it cost you to buy those blacks?
Well, it's a big brush pen. And it was like $20 Canadian, so that's like what, $15 American? It's like super
What?
expensive.
Would it be just cheaper to like buy the ink and just like fill it in with a brush?
I do that as well, but I just
You
wanted to
do that?
I do that, but apparently this one's got a particularly dark ink that gives good results for originals. So I'm just gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
Gives you a really authentic black, not that fake black.
Are you hinting at something there, Billy Bob Sack?
No, we're just talking about art and then the blacks. You have to buy and sell and trade, to get the best blacks you can ever get, right?
I have no comment.
Welcome everybody to our art chill stream of
This
this
just got
month
really
of
dark all of a
October.
sudden.
It's okay, it's Halloween, but I don't know if it's supposed to be that dark.
Listen,
Phrasing.
you brought it up, not my fault.
I was just talking innocently about the quality of artwork in originals today.
Yeah, and how much you got for your blacks. I get you. I understand.
No,
we have an
boy.
understanding in this conversation, Frederick.
I'm much more evil when I'm around you, Billy Bob. I don't know why.
Kill me now.
Anyways, we were supposed to watch Trick or Treat.
I did
Yes.
watch it.
I
you
watched
guys,
it too.
Did you guys not watch it?
I didn't. I couldn't.
You didn't?
I watched some clips and a recap. That's what I watched.
That's like the second time movie. This whole thing was your idea, Billy Bob.
Hold up,
You're
hold
not
up.
watching the
first
movies.
One, hold up. No. First one, good excuse. Didn't want to waste gas driving back up to get the coffee.
How's that a good excuse?
I mean, listen, I ain't wasting gas to get a fucking movie. All right. This time, actually had no way to watch it. Literally had no way to get a physical copy or anything. I'm not paying for HBO Max. And I'm not buying it digitally either. It's a fucking waste of money.
It was a decent movie.
It's better than I remembered, and I had like fond memories of it, but I couldn't remember anything concrete from it. It was like a big blur. Like I couldn't remember what the content was, other than it was multiple stories.
It was better than I remembered as well. I did enjoy it a lot more this time I watched it.
All I could remember was the bus scene.
The
Yeah,
bus
that
scene
was-
is really good. I really enjoyed that part.
It's the only thing I remember about the movie.
The one I My favorite part was when they turned into werewolves. I had totally blanked that from my memory, so I was like full on surprise. Like I
Is
was
that
watching
because
it.
there's tits in that scene?
No relation. You know,
That was the
no
one
relation.
story I think was useless and wasted. Wasn't
It
really
was kind
interesting.
of a shock value story. It's like the twist is like, oh, they're not just sluts after all. They're actually werewolves, even though it would make more sense for them to be vampires.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what
they're
I
werewolves
liked.
for some reason.
I like the fact that you're expecting vampires, especially since the doofus is like trying to bite her as if he was a vampire. Loser.
Yeah, but it didn't even make sense how he killed the other chick.
He has like plastic fangs or whatever, and he's just
Yeah.
like biting into their necks.
Yeah, because at first you're led to believe that he's a vampire, but turns out he's just into some kinky shit.
Well, he was also serial killing like
Yeah.
the fat kid.
Which, by the way, what
I
a
am
greedy
super
fuck.
serial.
He killed the fat fuck, all right, and then he killed another child, and then he killed the woman. He was getting really greedy going for like the fourth one. Like, hey,
I'm like, how is this guy not in jail already? Like, don't get me wrong, tonal consistency and all that, like, it's a movie, but still, I'm like, this guy's killed like 4 or 5 people in one night.
oh, and I'm assuming it was 3. Technically, I don't know if he cut the fat kid's head off and then he was just trying to dump the body. Why didn't he cut the other kid's head off as well? If they were turning them into pumpkin heads.
I have no clue.
I don't know. I just found the teeth vampire bit with him was stupid.
His motivation for being a serial killer was very like, don't get me wrong, I get he's supposed to be a psycho, but even like by psycho standards, I'm like, what are you actually thinking here? You poison this kid just cause, and you're now making a pumpkin head out of him? I don't know.
I will
And
say,
he was
I-
kicking pumpkins and stuff.
Yeah, and then
And
on
stealing
top of that,
candy.
it's like he's just straight up like going out in the night and like murdering ladies, acting like a vampire on top of that for no reason.
Also, how many kids is he trying to poison? Like, if you're giving out, if all the candy you're giving out is poisoned, I don't know, there's going to be enough cases of, oh, I don't know, we had fucking 20, 30 kids dead. Yeah, let's try to find out who's poisoning all the kids.
I will say that I really enjoyed the dark humor in this. It was really fun.
Then, what was it? The werewolf one, like I said, they didn't even break any traditions. It was just to have him kill the serial killer. That was their whole point in the story. That was it.
Yeah, just for him to get his comeuppance.
And I'm
Well,
like,
it kind of makes me wonder if they didn't put that as like a last minute kind of like plot device to try and tie everything together, because the movie doesn't really follow its own logic in that sense.
well, with the idea with the other two, with the old dude and the kids, is that they broke tradition, so of course they're going to get punished. Right? So the
Right.
kids, it wasn't because they scared the fucking little nerdy bitch. It was because specifically they kicked out the last pumpkin into the lake and stuff, which summoned the other kids to eat them, kill them.
Yes.
I mean,
Which
the
I'm
first
not gonna
two-
lie, those kids got a much worse punishment than the bus driver did at the end of the movie.
What
You
you
know how
guys?
okay, so this isn't really related to the movie, but I've seen so many actually fucking disgusting comments saying that the kids deserved it. I was like, they pulled a mean prank, but they pulled a mean prank on a girl.
Yeah, they just pulled
Yeah.
a mean prank, and I'm not gonna act like that's okay or whatever, but I'm like, to get ripped apart by undead, like seriously.
She really pulls it around on them, doesn't she? Like she just like
It's kinda
closes the
fucked up,
door and just like presses the button
To
casually.
be fair, they did say only 3 people can be on it, so if she did open it, like they were all gonna die.
Oh, I feel like it would have maybe been a better tie-in, like if it was the serial killer that ended up getting killed by those kids instead. I don't know, just where he's going after children and
Yeah,
whatnot.
I also didn't like the bus
Oh, yeah.
driver's ending. Like, how are the fucking kids able to get to his house when Sam's already like been like, all right, you're good, dude. You're giving out candy and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Also, they're walking through like a suburban neighborhood to get to his house, like this horde of undead kids.
Well, to
Nobody
be
noticed
fair,
that.
like, this town's really into Halloween, so I don't think it'd be that much of a stretch that some kids took it really far with their makeup. Yeah,
Really into Halloween, to the point where it's like, yeah, these people over here, they're kind of dead. Oh yeah, we're just going to ignore them. They're probably drunk or something.
yeah. Also, how did he kill the woman in public? Like, that's the thing.
I don't know.
Like, I get it. They think she's a drunk, like because it's the opening chick. Just thinks she's a drunk, random woman with the fake blood on. But somehow he's able to get into her and then kill her without anybody going, "Hey, is this dude getting a bit rapey with her?" You know, like
you
come
would think, especially with it being a party going on, and it's in a public space too. You would think there would be a few cops on hand to make sure that everything's kind of staying in order, you know? That there's nothing like dubious going on.
right. And all she had to do was like, I don't know, start punching the shit and kicking them. Somebody's gonna notice whether you're drunk or not. Yeah. What else was there? The Sam bit was good with the with the old man that ties. I actually do think the way they tie in the stories are good.
Yeah,
I like-
the weaving in and out works really well. It keeps your
Yeah.
attention. You never focus too long on any one story, and they all work well thematically. And as well, you got a real variety in age of characters. Like you got from the young kids to the adolescents, the young adults, and the old people as well. So it's super, very generalized kind of story.
It covers a lot of bases.
Is the one character's name Sam? Is that right?
Yeah, the little demon kid.
Do they ever say that in the movie?
No, I don't think so. It's just
Just
I think it's
more
just
so the
mentioned how
fans.
you know the little kid who was peeping on the werewolf chicks? That's the kid who's playing Sam, by the way.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
The little one that was with the when they're getting dressed and stuff, and he's like the little peeping Tom.
I remember that.
He's like trying to sneak a peek for boobs, and then all of a sudden he's like, all right, time to actually get to killing for Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, it's just the actors. Their characters aren't.
I know, but I like to think that they're both the same.
Otter has his head cannon there.
Yeah,
Or he
it's
just
way more fun
morphs
this
into
way.
he just morphs into a pumpkin alien resurrection looking monster.
Yeah, until you mentioned it, Billy, I'd forgot his name was Sam. I thought it was Jack for some reason.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
It's a much better name.
I thought the monster was a bit generic. I liked the work they did, though the rendering, the look, it was good. But it's probably why I didn't remember it either. Like, just it's a pumpkin head monster. I like this, I like this. What do you call it? The sack over his head spares just from spares them from having to do all the effects work on all the time. But it looks cool as well. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't really stand out either. It's kind of a generic Halloween.
Well, he looks
monster.
exactly like the alien from Resurrection. Fourth one.
Here's the thing.
Baby
Like,
alien.
he's not built up at all. He's not really built up that much. That's the thing. He's just the spirit of Halloween. There's no real story or lore to him, which is, I think that's a big reason why it comes off as unmemorable. It's like, it's a decently cool design. It's just, there isn't much story behind what you're seeing other than that, hey, it's Halloween. He kind of looks like a jack-o'-lantern. There you go.
I don't know why. I was misremembering that he had a tie-in somewhere in the movie, like his backstory. Like he used to be human, but
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I was remembering wrong because we were watching the movie and I was like, wait, where is his story at? I remember there being a story, but
You
I
know
guess I
what?
was
It would have
remembering wrong.
It would have been a better tie-in than get rid of the fucking werewolf one. And just have somehow have it tie into his backstory. I don't give a shit. Get rid
It
of the
would have made
werewolf
more
shit.
sense for it to be like him, like Sam, who ended up killing the actual serial killer. That way, whenever it comes to the final story with the old man who's also the bus driver, there would be more narrative kind of like build up there.
Also, have it. I know we argued a little bit about this, but have the teacher have it to the point where Sam kills him because he directly sees him breaking tradition or some shit. I don't know. They're not even clear on exactly the rules of tradition on
Right.
this.
It needed to have there is a logic to it. It's just the movie needed to stick with it.
Right.
Yeah, I will say, if you just kept his hood on, though, Sam is so freaking adorable. He's so cute. I love him. It's like, keep him that way. I don't mind if he murders people for Halloween. He's just doing his job.
Oh, I think he takes some pleasure.
He's mommy's little murderer.
And how fucking hard is that candy? He bites it. Fucking slash some people's throats and shit. Stab.
It's so gimmicky too. I'm like, wait, his lollipop is basically a fucking knife. Okay, movie, whatever.
Yeah, because that's how he kills the what's her name? Beginning of the movie.
Also, I think for our Halloween, for our illustrations this week, I think I was the only one who drew anything.
No, I drew some. I just ain't. It's not done.
Oh, it's not done? You still want to share it with us?
No, it's
Oh.
not done.
I'm willing to share what I've got. I was able to finish something today. It was kind of like my first real foray in the digital artwork. Still very much a novice in that respect. Let me go ahead and pull it up.
That's right.
That's
I'm happy
right.
to be leaving the digital foray now that I found a colorist. So it's gonna be relaxing. Just cool. Real paper, real tactile paper. That looks great, man.
Thanks, man. And all things considered, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Nice
Line
little
art still needs some work, but I like how the proportions and everything turned out.
First of all, this could be an album cover from the 90s.
It could. Now that you mention it, it really could.
I'll be right back.
All
Did
right.
you guys listen to the Lord Otter, man? Oh, so good. Yeah, I could imagine turning it around and seeing the tracks.
Yeah, Otter was showing me this as he was drawing it earlier, and I was kind of baffled by so he was using a pen tool, right, to draw this with, or
Mhm.
ink it, and he only had it at 2 or 3 point, the size for it.
No, it was 5 point. I went down to 3 as the lowest.
It's just just extremely tiny.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm insane that way, you know.
Well, you're new to digital art as well. You'll eventually
That
find
too.
your own style, your own way of working with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were talking about coloring, Frederick.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
traditional coloring and then digital coloring, they're two entirely different beasts, I
Mhm.
feel.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. I mean, for the most part, when comics went from traditional to digital, you couldn't just take the traditional artists and train them in digital. It was so different. They went from marking screen areas, that would turn colors and then indicating with markers the numbers. It was very it resembled a lot of the silk screen, the old school printing techniques. Whereas digital just gives you so many tools because now you have access to masking and gradients and the whole lot of tools that give you infinite undos as well.
Right. Hey, Animated.
Hello.
Hey, Moon, we're just talking about
Hi.
coloring.
Yeah, speaking of which, that's what I'm on.
I feel whenever people are trying out digital art for the first time, some of the things I notice that they do whenever they're trying to get the coloring down is I feel like a lot of people they overuse effects. So like airbrushing for shadows and stuff.
100%, yeah.
That's like a telltale sign that I know they're not that familiar with coloring yet. And it's not like it looks horrible. It's just sometimes people do it overly.
It's a thing that can happen where the precision of digital allows you to make perfect renders and things like that, and it's a lot easier to do that than to handle something with like interesting technique, like painting technique or something like that. So it's usually kind of the go-to, I find, for a lot of people starting out.
I think what I've figured out that I prefer to do is I will do like a hard shadow and then take like a soft brush and just kind of like soften up like the edges a little bit. I think that looks really nice because you kind of get a mix of both that way.
Well, it's all about knowing where, because like a big problem I see with a lot of people's lighting and stuff like that is kind of in the same way that like cell shade is all hard light, right? It's all hard edges, the shadows and whatnot. They think that the inverse is true, and so like all of their edges on all of their things are soft, so it makes it look super like I said, like overly rendered and whatnot.
Right.
No texture. Get texture in there. It makes it look good.
Yeah, I think I would say I've only been more doing digital art, like practicing it a lot, more so within the last probably 3 to 4 years. Because I remember I actually was able to take, they offered a digital art course in my college, and I was able to take it, which the teacher for it, he was actually extremely good at like explaining differences between traditional and digital art.
Look what the killer pumpkin drug in.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Tenkage.
Hey, Tenkai.
Hail
Maybe.
Tenkage.
All right, so I didn't watch the Trick or Treat, but I did watch Dog Soldiers, which is on YouTube.
Basically the same thing, right?
Yeah,
I watched both back to back. I really had a fun time watching those movies.
Dog Soldier. I had the after the little opening bit is a bit rough with the Sir Davos from fucking Game of Thrones villain. They're like, I want you to shoot the dog. I'm not gonna shoot the dog for no reason. Shoot the dog, and he fucking shoots the dog. Like, what a dickhead! Like, come on. Maybe I get what was the anime Otter or the manga you said that the writer just like, if I really want you to hate every villain, either what kills a fucking dog or some shit.
Oh, that's
JoJo?
Rocky with JoJo's.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has a trope where he usually has his villains kill a dog at some point because it's not because he hates dogs, but he's like, oh yeah, this is a really efficient way to make you hate this guy.
that's what that scene reminded
I
me.
guess
of.
that's kind of true, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
so
it's
there's a lot
simple.
of dog murdering going on in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
So after that, and then it's pretty good throughout the rest of the movie. The ending I do not like. You know what I would have liked, Otter?
What's that?
The main character survives, the Sarge survives, and what's his name? Spoon? The one who fucking
yeah.
like, boxes a werewolf and was about to kill the werewolf, but just beating the shit out of him. Here's what I would like. All three of them survive. They make it to daytime, and then they find the little fuckers turned back to human, and then they get to torture him. Get back. That's what I would have liked. Not the, oh, we just blew up the house, and then he fights, what's his name? Sir Davos as a werewolf underneath the house.
Yeah, it was the very last part of the movie. It was like right before the credits rolled. Yeah, I will agree with you that right before it's like the climax of the movie, it's a little rough around the edges. I still don't think it's bad, but it could have been done just a little better.
Yeah, but I would have liked it if they survived and then they started beating the living shit out of these werewolves turned back to human.
Yeah.
It would have been way more fucking great in my opinion. I think I don't know, I just didn't like the stove blowing them up. So, by the way, wouldn't they just be able to reform?
Maybe I don't know. The logic is a little shaky. Some of that has to do with it feels like the movie doesn't fully know what it wants to do with the werewolf logic because Silver kind of kills them, kind of doesn't. They before that point they kind of mentioned that it's kind of sort of bullshit. So
It doesn't kill them, but it makes them vulnerable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like when it stabs him, it makes him where he can't regenerate and shit.
The logic behind it is a little hazy, I'm not gonna lie. For me, I really enjoy the movie more for the actual kind of like tension going on, the action, and I love the werewolf designs.
No, I love all that. It's just I don't know. I really didn't like the ending. It was very generic, which is kind of disappointing when the movie has. You know what? You know what? Another scene I think they should have had. You know where they grab what's his name, Teller, the fucking the cook of the fucking squad.
Yeah,
Who was
You guys are reviewing a movie none of us watched.
This is weird.
Animated Moon hasn't even told us what his thoughts on Trick or Treat yet.
Well,
I'm
I'll let you.
gonna
I was
Listen.
thinking about that last night. I was like, what is everybody going to think about this movie?
I enjoyed it. I do have a few problems with kind of like the larger narrative, how everything kind of ties in together, but I still enjoyed the movie as a whole. For me, it's like a fun, spooky movie just to watch with like family or friends or something like that. You're not
Yeah.
you're not thinking too hard while you're watching it. You're just kind of having fun.
It's got that mid 2000s Tales from the Crypt vibe.
It
That's what I
does.
get from it. Yeah. With all the
It's a
pitfalls
little-
and all the advantages.
It's a little rough around the edges, but for me, it's part of the charm in a weird way.
Yeah, it's kind of a cult classic at this point, I would say.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of like, what is it, Creep Show or something, where it's like
Yeah.
an anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt, that whole vibe, absolutely, completely agree.
However, the werewolf bit should have been cut.
It
That was
really-
the best part. Don't
Yeah.
you touch that werewolf.
No,
The werewolf scene was probably the best
You know
part.
what? You only think it's the best part because of the at
All
the
right,
ending part.
tell you what,
All the rest
we'll
of
cut.
it,
First of all, you didn't see the movie, so I don't know
trash.
how you can judge the movie without seeing it.
Billy's just been
Dude, I
hiding in the
watched a
closet
lot of
this
clips on
entire
this
time.
fucking movie.
And second part, if you're cutting that part out of the movie, you could take the rest of the movie with you. I'll take that part, and
Yeah.
we'll,
No.
We'll make our own movie with blackjack and hookers.
That's
right.
kind of the thing about anthologies, though, is you have a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like this movie is a good example of it. There are stories that I think are better, and ones that I don't really care about very much. But
It's tough to look at an anthology movie and
mhm.
have all of them be good.
Yeah,
Usually there's one stinker in there somewhere.
yeah,
Listen, I like the serial killer bit because it's dark humor. Like
it's
really
kind of
dark
funny.
humor.
Yeah,
I
Creepy
like
way.
the kids one just because it's spooky and shit, and you get the
Yeah,
only
what'd
scene
you
I
th-
actually remember
what'd you
from-
guys think of the little girl leaving the other kids behind for the deader kids?
Pretty fucked up, but then
Pretty
it was
epic.
a great twist.
Yeah,
Listen, she had to
why do you say that?
because the fucking little blonde tramp told them
She deserved it.
before they went down that it can only hold 3 people. Well, there's 4 with her and the other 3.
Oh, I didn't catch that actually.
Meaning,
Pretty good point.
like, unless she opened it and she kicked the blonde bitch, towards the zombies, like, they're not getting out of there, so she'd be dead as well.
I really, and I know we're kind of jumping around here, but it's an anthology, so I think that's going to happen. But I really enjoyed how the bus driver was revealed later on. in the skit where he was. I think the little avatar, the Halloween avatar's name is Sam. When he was fighting Sam in his house.
Yeah, he was burning.
Yeah, and
photo.
in that picture that was burning in the fireplace showed that he was the bus driver because nobody really knows what happened to the bus driver, right?
Right.
So that was
right.
pretty good.
So he was basically Halloween's version of Scrooge.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
Entire
accurate.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Except instead of neglecting children, he murders children.
Well, I mean, the parents gave him a lot of money.
Yeah, I what? So what is this like a school board that got together or something?
No,
That's
literally,
part of
the
that story that
like,
didn't really make a lot of sense to me. You
What
know?
the story was, the kids were, I think,
Listen.
just retarded.
The
that's
story
what-
doesn't make sense to you because you're not Canadian. You see,
Hold up.
when we're tired of our retarded children, we sent them off to the doctor, and
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was
I'm not
hired
joking,
by
that's
he was
literally
just
what
hired by
Zap
Mr.
him, right?
Garrison. Uh-oh, retard alert, children. Retard alert.
I'm not even joking. I think that's literally what the story is like. Oh, they're special and different and stuff. I'm like, are they just fucking retarded?
yes,
And the parents said, "Fuck this." Here you go,
It just
bus
seems
driver.
like there might have been a better option than driving a bus off a cliff. I mean,
It's like
Tenkage. It's even worse because
Yeah.
the retarded vampire kid accidentally got to escape and then
Yeah.
immediately drove the bus.
he was
into
counting the
fucking-
house numbers, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
my question is, at what, like, how far did it have to go for them to decide? Oh, hey, the best solution is to drive them off a cliff, like into a quarry.
Colorado, the best solution is to pay a dude
Yeah.
to drive them off the cliff.
Yeah. We can't do it ourselves. We're cowards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete cowards.
I don't know. I guess they got tired of what's his name, Timmy. Timmy.
Yeah. I don't
No.
know.
Living la Timmy.
Wrong way. I don't know.
They couldn't stand Timmy no more.
I can definitely see like Matt and Trey just making like a South Park parody of this, and it's just Timmy driving the bus off a cliff.
Yeah. So there were parts in that movie, and I hadn't watched this in a while. I can remember watching it when it came out, and it's like I said, it's kind of a cult classic now because it's got that whole Tales from the Crypt, creep show vibe. But every time I watch this movie, I kind of rediscover things I like about it and things I don't. You know.
Also, there were cut scenes that I watched as well
Mhm.
that probably should have been kept in the movie. Like some that were given to the kids' storyline that helped flesh them out just a little bit more. About
Yeah,
this stuff.
And there's a lot of parts that are funny, I think, by intent. You know, like comedy horror or whatever.
The black comedy around the what was it? The kid who got poisoned. That was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. It's like
Yeah.
he's just burying the kid and then trying to stall while his neighbor is like talking to him. He's
Yeah.
just like kicking the kid all the while. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is fucked up, but it's funny.
And then when you get the punchline with that kid later in the basement when they carve the pumpkin face, quote unquote.
Well,
That
there was two different
that
kids.
was very Tales from the Crypt.
It was.
There was
Yeah.
There was the fat kid that he poisoned, and then that was just some random other kid that he was also burying. That he didn't
Mhm.
make sure he killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got lazy that night.
And then
man.
why was that guy like a vampire later? Am I catching that?
He just
correctly? It's the
dresses
same
up as
guy,
a
right?
vampire to somehow kills ladies. I don't know how he killed her. Like his plastic teeth. How you fucking?
They're really good plastic fangs, I'll tell you. Really sharp.
He spent like
Yeah.
$40 on Amazon for those teeth. Okay, Billy.
It's
I'm just saying,
These
like-
ones actually cut.
Yeah,
Also,
that-
like
it's a little weird, but
I would have
But-
been fine with the poison candy, but it needed to distinguish that he only gives out sometimes the poison candy. Because at a certain point, if he's giving out like to 20, 30 kids, right? Or more,
yeah.
depending how big this town is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's big.
Mhm.
So, like, at a certain point, like, the cops are going to have to investigate because, I don't know, every Halloween, like, 50 kids fucking die from poisoning. Like, from
Yeah.
cyanide.
but it looks like he needs to give him a lot for them to get sick, though, because that fat kid
No, he didn't.
ate a bunch
Well,
of those bars.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you get a
Did he?
brief
I thought he
glance
just
at the
ate one.
ingredients. It's like cyanide and stuff like that. I don't know.
No, he just ate one. He didn't eat many. he was going there to steal it, and then he caught him. Wilkins was like, "Oh no, eat it, fatso." And then he stole his son's kid's candy, which was the other little tie-in.
These are a lot of the
And-
same people that worked on the X-Men movies, by the way.
Really?
For
Yeah.
real?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's why a lot of the cast members are the same. Like Anna Paquin, I think her name
Oh,
is.
that's where I recognized her. It was Rogue.
Yeah.
How could you forget Rogue for Frederick?
I remembered her face, but I couldn't like the context. I couldn't recall. One thing I thought this movie did well, though, is the coming back in time and revisiting a scene with another context. You were talking about like digging the grave in the backyard. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
But it's a particular like revisiting the same scene from another angle. Whenever that's done right, I find that's really interesting because it makes the movie more rewatchable. You know, you can start over again and you've got the whole scene in your head.
Yeah.
They do it like 4 or 5 times. Majorly does that. Wilkins trying to, I guess, bury the fat kid's headless body and another kid
Yeah.
with the old dude, and then it ties into the old dude's storyline of him going out there being like, "You little piece of shit, keep it quiet. I fucking hate kids. Hate you. Scourge."
I love
like
that
that.
his dog's name was Spite, by the way. Spite. He just kept
And
calling.
then the other tie-in, of course, the ending of the ending story ties directly into the beginning of the movie with the blonde chick who fucking hates Halloween. How does she not end up with Scrooge? Halloween Scrooge. You know? Like they have the same attitude. Fuck Halloween.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like she hates Halloween for what reason again? Is there a reason? She just hates Halloween.
She just hates Halloween. She says, "This is stupid. I'm gonna blow up this pumpkin. Fuck you, husband." Who's going in there to watch porn.
And I think
It is
that's the main flaw of the movie. Like it works on surface level, like it's really well tied together, but there's no depth to really dive you to go any deeper.
I think that's fine for an anthology movie. Like,
yeah.
For me, if it was like a regular kind of like one story narrative movie, I'd be a lot more critical of it. But you kind of notice that this is sort of a thing with a lot of anthology stories.
Yeah.
It's like there's usually some sort of like incohesion to it, or it's like they only go so deep. There's not usually a ton to it. That's kind of what I've noticed anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that anthologies are actually kind of tough to put on the screen. Short story collections too, you know, for a lot of the same reason. I think this movie does a great job of tying it all together. But because of the fact that it's an anthology, you are going to have some shallow depth on some of the details. So
You were talking about really lacking the tie-ins where the stories or the different portions of the anthology like cross.
Mhm.
I think one of my favorite ones is what is it? The principal going out like the front door. I forget the reason why, but like after he's like carved up that kid's skull or something, and then just in the background you can see like the bus driver getting like body slammed by Sam.
yeah, and they did a
window.
great job timing that later when they had the bus driver, when you see it from his perspective, because the timing is like almost exactly the same. Yeah, I like those little details. So it's not a perfect movie. I think a good 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 is a fair kind of rating for that movie. But it's one I always keep coming back to every Halloween season for some reason.
I mean, in spite of all my problems with it, it was still a movie I very much enjoyed watching. I think a 6 out of 10 is a good rating for it.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of anthology movies that I've hated so much more,
Yeah.
or just enjoyed less. I'm trying to think of a few off the top of my head. One I can immediately think of was like, it's like a Batman anime or an animated Batman anthology. Like, that's kind of like a movie along similar lines, but I remember that being way worse for like quality and writing and everything. I don't know. There's a lot of anthology movies where I just really do not like. So to have one where I actually enjoy it, for me, that's kind of a win in its own right.
Yeah, And I would say that as far as Trick or Treat, the werewolf scene is definitely the climax scene of the movie. That's like the where
Thank
everything
you.
really ties in. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I'll say
definitely
climax.
definitely the best. That's probably my favorite scene, and one of the most memorable. And I really wonder how much more they spent on that scene than the rest of them, because there's a lot of I don't know, animatronic stuff going on.
Yeah, effects, right? It's,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole their back muscles.
Werewolf in Paris kind of
Yeah.
thing there, or London. Sorry. Yeah.
Werewolf in London.
I need to watch that movie again, by the way. It's been a few years.
Yeah. Me too.
There's been a lot of werewolves in our discussions lately, which I'm okay with because I always thought werewolves were really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
werewolves are really cool. I want some I've got plans for werewolves in my comic as well.
I like
Nice.
vampires, but werewolves are just cooler in my eyes.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Vampires have like a slim margin where they're really awesome, and they, you have to kind of take care with them. Otherwise, in my opinion, they're just I don't know. They can be turned into things that aren't so great.
It
Yeah.
depends on how they're handled, and I guess you could apply that to werewolves as well, but I think werewolves tap into sort of like this primal sort of like rage or hunger element. I think it's easier to make good stories out of that.
Mhm.
Vampires, it depends on how they're depicted. If it's more kind of like this mysticism, street level, or where it kind of like relates to kind of like sort of like deep human fears of like domestic abuse and stuff like that, I think you can have some really cool stories out of it. Then on the other side of the spectrum, you get sparkling vampires.
Yeah, I think that's a product of vampires being played out as well. Like they've been incredibly popular for great reasons because you can make spectacular monsters out of them. Very seductive and dangerous and threatening, and they can weave their way into our society and manipulate. It's super great, like concept. But yeah, I think they became hugely popular and they were done to death. They were done right into young women's dramas, young teens dramas and stuff, with cliches up the wazoo.
It's horrific for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, and I think werewolves have as much potential as vampires for sure, and haven't been explored as much yet. I think we just don't see them as often. They haven't had like their string of movies successes yet. They've had like a little few small successes here and there, but they haven't like had a huge wave of in popular culture. I don't think.
I
would
think that's
say-
also. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Tank.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Go ahead.
I think that's also why I'd say I kind of prefer werewolves over vampires at the moment. Vampires, it feels like the market for them has been oversaturated. Like, there's vampire movies everywhere, and a lot of them are trash. You don't see that many werewolf movies, and you especially don't see a ton of really good werewolf movies.
Mhm.
It's more kind of like you'll get one or two, maybe three, like every decade, and then they just kind of go away.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we have seen it, and there's a lot of good examples of it from bygone eras. Like you had Werewolf by Night comic books, right? You had the Underworld movie series, which was pretty good. I mean, the earlier films were better, I think, than the later ones, of course. But
What are we talking
like the Lycan from the Underworld movies.
about? Oh, we're talking about dog soldiers now? All right.
We're
But
talking
yeah,
about
werewolves.
we're talking about werewolves.
All
So I
right,
guess
dog
Dog
soldiers.
Soldiers
No,
is fine.
so you had in comic books, you had Werewolf by Night, which is where Moon Knight came from. He actually appeared in Werewolf by Night, the Moon Knight character. And then I was just saying that you also had the Underworld movies. So like werewolves have, and then you had Wolfman, and then I think you had Wolf with Jack Nicholson. Does anybody remember that? Have seen that movie? That was kind of a weird one.
Oh,
I think I have
Yeah,
actually.
I saw
there-
it in the theater
Yeah,
back in the day.
they've tried with werewolves quite a bit,
Yeah.
and for some reason they've just never taken off like vampires did. And I think that-
Teen Wolf was a big hit with
Teen
Michael J.
Wolf?
Fox.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
yeah, that was definitely.
I don't know if it holds up. I'm kind of
Yeah.
afraid to look.
I
No,
still
no, it
love An
doesn't.
American Werewolf in London. I especially love how
Good
it
movie.
ends. Billy, if you think Dog Soldiers ending is like really.
I gotta see
jank.
this. I've never seen this. Dog Soul.
Okay.
It's a really good movie.
I have something to propose in lieu of the wheel, because we've been spinning the wheel so far, and it's, you know, but since we're not guaranteed that Billy Bob is going to see the movie we're going to spin, we just watch Dog Soldier next week, and then we can all review it.
No, we're still spinning the wheel.
I'll tell you
You're
what,
right.
Frederick. I'll still watch Dog Soldiers and commentate on it.
Well, it's on
What if we
YouTube.
make it a?
It's so
What if
easy.
we
Let's
make it
look
a
at this.
double feature?
Yes.
Where we review
Double
one
feature
movie
for
from the
Halloween
wheel
season.
and
Dog
then
Soldiers and whatever. Speaking of
for who
wheel,
wants to do it. For whoever wants to do it. You don't all have to do it.
Because I watched this movie just about a week ago for the first time, and I went, "Hey, this is like the movie has some rough edges, but it is a kick-ass movie.
I
Still really fun.
already have it on my drive because I've seen it referenced in a very positive light, but I just haven't gotten around to watch it. So this would be the perfect time. Speaking of, should we pull up the wheel and see what
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
go
do it.
ahead and pull up the wheel.
the next movie will entail? The final movie in our Halloween quadrilogy.
The
Oh my
Wheel
gosh,
of
this month went by so
Spooky
fast.
Misfortunes.
All right.
All
So what is
right.
it? Real quick. What does everybody want?
Army of Darkness.
Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm with Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. We're not going to get that now.
No.
It's Halloween Town.
No, I really want Brain Dead. I want to see. I think we're gonna have a hilarious review if we all watch Brain Dead. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
All right, did
All right.
we remove the last movie?
Yeah, we did.
All right.
It
Did you
automatically.
remove Halloween
removed.
Town as well.
Nope.
Nope.
it's still there.
Halloween Town is still in the running.
No.
I don't know if Perfect Blue's very
Rico,
Halloween,
Rico.
but it's a good anime though.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, spin this fucker.
Let's go ahead and spin it in 3, 2, 1, and spin.
500, 500.
Oh, thank God, not Halloween.
It-
No, it could have been Alien.
The Last
Could've been
Girl. Wow, that's
It could
cool.
have been Alien.
At least it's not Stephen King's It.
It was so close to Alien.
Jesus.
The Last
fuck.
Girl, huh? I don't think I've ever heard of this.
The
one.
Last Girl.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's
2015?
yes. So basically, it's about this young girl who's she lost her. Well, she's a teenager. She lost her mom, and her mom was an actress in a horror movie. And it's the 1-year anniversary of losing her mom, and the movie's playing in theaters. And her best friend is like, "Hey, I have a great idea. Let's go see your mom in a horror movie." She's like, "I don't know." And they go, and by magic, she gets pulled into the horror movie,
Whoa.
and she
That's
knows
kind of a cool
everything.
premise.
So she's
Is it called
Like-
Final Girl?
yeah,
No.
No. Oh, is it?
yes,
Is it not? Or is it called Final Girl? Why are you putting
Final
last?
Girl or Last Girl? Oh, it's Final Girl.
Final Girl, yeah.
It's a translation. thing,
Frederick.
huh?
Frederick. You're fucking this up. Was it a movie in 2015?
No, I think it was this year.
No, it's
No,
not
wait, no,
this.
no, you're right. 2015.
Yeah, 2015
my
sounds
thing.
about right.
Final Girl. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you'll see it in the plot. Like it's clearly her about her
Interesting.
mom being an actress, and so she's
On
bonding with her.
Red Box.
But when she's in the movie, it's not really her mom; it's the character her mom's playing. So she has this whole weird relationship with her.
All right.
All right, Tenkage rigged this fucking spin wheel because I think he got like 2 of
I
his
got
3
2.
movies picked.
Yeah, and I wish I had picked better movies, to be honest. But next year, there's always next year.
Well, I
Yeah,
am
you
glad.
picked the Blob. How dare you?
I'm glad I watched
you
the
gotta
Blob.
start with the '58 Blob, and then
Yeah.
you go to the '80s Blob, and you can appreciate it way more. I promise you.
We should have
I'm-
had the 80s Blob.
I'm
We
happy
will
I
next
watched
year,
it.
Really
we will-
should have.
We shouldn't
I'm-
even spend for that next year. We should just add it automatically.
Just like Dog Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, that's 2 already. So yeah, we'll have to figure something out.
So, anyways, Dog Soldier.
It's really
Pretty
fun
good
to
movie.
just spinning the wheel though.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying, Otter. Where
Yes.
Killer gets pulled out by the werewolf. They should have had the scene where the werewolves were like actually torturing him and having him scream for them to try to go get him as well.
Oh yeah,
Because it
because
would have
it,
actually made sense that the werewolves are using smart tactics to try to get the humans.
yeah, it. I was like, wait, you're still alive, and it just kind of came up for a bit, and then it's just like, boom, he's dead. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like slowly eating him, and I was like, Yeah, but this would have been cool if they were like actually using his pain and suffering to bring more of them out, so they can. I don't know, because the idea was supposed to be, they're not dumb. So
Right.
have
They're
tactics.
actively sadistic, and they're also using smart tactics.
So that would have been cool. Well, I think that thing should have been. Also, the one chick was very obvious with her betrayal order.
Hey! No
Yeah.
spoilers.
Shut up,
We
Frederick.
haven't watched it
Hold
yet.
up, Frederick.
We're gonna watch
Hold
it
up,
this
I'll
week.
fix this issue. I'll fix this issue. All right, now we can talk about dog soldiers.
I could still hear you in the back room.
That's right. Alrighty. No, next we got the final girl.
Yeah,
And dog soldiers.
and dog soldiers.
Yeah, Animate Moon, you're supposed to watch Dog Soldiers.
Well, I didn't, but I did watch Beetlejuice. A
The
friend invited me, and was like,
the new one?
"No, the original."
Oh,
It
okay.
was like, "All right, we're gonna watch Beetlejuice," and I'm like, "Frick it, why not?"
I watched the first Saw movie last night. The first time I'd seen it, actually. It was all right. It's a well-made movie.
What were your thoughts on Beetlejuice animated Moon? Like, did you think it aged well? Did it hold up today?
It is the most Tim Burton movie Tim Burton ever made, which
That's
is to
a
say,
fair assessment.
all style and no substance. Is the best way I can put it. Like, I don't have that many thoughts on it because there wasn't that many things to have thoughts
I
on.
think it has to be. Oh no, I was gonna say it's my first Tim Burton movie, but that's not true. That was Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, that's a great one.
You have Winona Ryder playing like the most typical like goth girl of all goth girls in the movie. I'm like, you could not have like made her any more goth.
Yeah, and that scene with her in the red wedding dress at the end is pretty dope. Winona was really hot back in the day.
Well, let's say when she was of age. That she was, 15 or 16 in that
I
movie.
was pretty sure she was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, she was always older than me, just to put it into perspective.
Okay, so you're talking back then.
You're talking like child crush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to specify that for.
I told you guys I was old, you know?
Yeah.
Always do. Is this supposed to be taking place on Planet Namek? Animate Moon? Piccolo gonna show
The
up?
blue
Oh
grass.
man, you got rid of the bluegrass.
That's pretty good.
I am now at that part in DBZ. I've been going at
that's
the
fine.
whole Namek arc pretty slowly. The whole Frieza arc.
Dude, you're gonna see
You and
muscles
everybody
on
else,
fucking
my
muscles.
friend.
Oh really?
The Frieza arc is just drags, but I still
Yeah,
loved
it's like I have a feeling once it gets to the actual fight, I'm gonna love it. But it's like the build up to that fight, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a little slow.
My favorite part of the Frieza arc is Vegeta versus Zarbon, part 1 and 2. When he first encounters him, and then when he comes back and kicks his ass later.
What was the abridged joke on it?
Oh man, I don't remember. It was pretty funny
I'm
though.
gonna- Hold up, I actually have to look this up and play it.
I still like the muffin.
I remember
button
correctly,
joke.
it's like I'm gonna blow up something in your insides. What?
See, like I think I've said many times before, like the Frieza arc would never really end when I was a kid. It would always reset, like right when Goku turned Super Saiyan. So it would reset to the Raditz storyline, like right before the Saiyan saga. So the Frieza arc for me is just every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like this is gonna
Oh.
drag on, So I think that's why I like Kai more than Dragon Ball Kai more than I do the original run, just because of the filler. Is specifically because of the Frieza saga.
I didn't
Um,
mind the filler where they're on like fake planet Namek so much. That I didn't mind so much, just because it felt like there was still a bit of a adventure and mystery going on.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
child colony, I was like, oh god, can I just skip this episode?
Yeah, you can if you go get Dragon Ball Z Kai.
That episode was pointless. I was like, why is this a thing?
Yeah, this is why I've stood my ground on Kai, because I get a lot of crap for that, but
Some of the filler is
Well, hold
pretty
on.
enjoyable.
some of it is. I will agree with that.
Not in
Yes.
Frieza arc so much.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, Team Kage,
hmm
it's because most people think of when they think of Kai, they think of the Nickelodeon dumbed down Goo Goo Baba version. There
Yeah.
is a version that is not censored.
Plus the coloring is different, if I remember right.
Well, it depends
some of
on
the
what you're
characters.
thinking of coloring because the orange box, the ones they keep selling, are absolutely fucking dog shit
Yeah.
version. Like what do they do? They like oversaturated the color to the point where lines start disappearing over it. It's so
yeah,
bright.
and that's you don't want that. So yeah.
And they didn't actually crop it to or try to make it work with bigger screens. They just zoomed it in, and that's
Ooh,
it.
yeah, and that's never good. Yeah, you got to take it from source and actually blow it up properly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What was that? I couldn't hear you over that hole I made in your stomach.
Vegeta, please, just give me a chance. We could work together.
Yeah, I've heard that bit already. Now let me put this in a way you'll understand. I'm about to blow my load all over your insides.
What?
Phrasing.
Love Dragon Ball Z. You know the funny thing
Frieza was a
is,
tank in those early episodes of the Frieza saga, man. Or Vegeta, excuse me, was a tank in those early episodes of the Frieza saga.
Saiyan Saga will always be my favorite in like the Z portion of the story,
Mhm.
just because I love the final fight with Vegeta. It's fucking excellent.
The
Before
build
he
up to it is
transforms.
really good too. It is
Mhm.
slow, but it works.
Yeah.
I do like in the Frieza Saga, we're mainly following Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta.
Yeah.
It's like most of the plot of it, to the point where even in the manga and stuff. So
I haven't read the manga.
Toriyama,
I guess I should.
you should. It's good.
All
To the
right.
point where Toriyama at the end of some chapters had to be like, Goku's still on his way. He's training. Here's a couple pages.
Yeah.
Still training, guys.
Here's
He's still
10
in the story.
episodes. Yeah.
He'll be here eventually. 20 chapters.
On the
later.
next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Goku actually throws a punch. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I need to find? So Otter, you're fixing to get into the muscles on top of muscles of Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Where
I hate that.
He's,
What is
like-
that form right between Super Saiyan 2 and 3? Like the
Oh,
ultimate
the-
form? I hate that form so much.
it's all grade 3, grade 4.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah,
It was a
something.
They're
weird
basically
thing.
the
You had
whole
Super
you can't
Saiyan and
move
you
or
had
yeah,
the
too slow or
grades.
something.
Albeit it wasn't like that important of a form. It was supposed to be
Hey,
like
that's
where
one
that went.
between 1 and 2. Sorry, I got that mixed up.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 2, the ultimate Super Saiyan Ultimate or whatever. Yeah.
Hold up. Let me see if I can find that.
What is it, Umbrella? You like what I sent you?
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Hold up. So Otter,
Yeah.
this is how buff the characters start getting.
What?
It's between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. They have like this ultimate form, right? And they just start getting really ridiculous for a while.
Are you sorry yet? I think I peed a little.
Oh, hold up. I sent the clip to you from the Broly movie from TFS.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if I've watched it yet though. That's the thing. What is going on here?
Otter yearns for the mines.
The otter does yearn for the mines.
The page is looking really good there, Frederick.
Which one? It's a
The one
double
you're
page
working on there.
spread.
Yeah, there you
Sorry.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate
So when
it.
they got to the Broly movie, they don't even change Broly's
Crushing it.
backstory. They just keep it in because it is stupid. He just
so
hates
dumb.
Goku. He just hates Goku because Goku cried and made him cry as a baby. That's it.
He cried for like 3 hours.
Isn't that wonderful? My Minecraft skin is no longer showing, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think the same is doing the same for mine.
Oh wait, now it's showing. That was weird.
Yeah, I wondered if it was just, I don't know, displaying it wrong. I don't know how it looks in the actual game,
The what?
like our Minecraft skins.
It was fucking it up for a second.
Oh, did I forget? I forgot to share the clip.
Share the clip.
All right.
Do the thing.
Do the thing.
You know the
With
thing.
the thing.
That's right. Down
On
to
the
business.
thing.
Business.
And when it's 4-on-1, monster. Monster? Broly is not a monster. Broly is
A genuine demon? A true freak?
the devil. Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
What is this?
Peak sound design.
But to be fair, Broly is like one of the most beloved, like fan favorite characters. To the point where he's like he's in every single video game.
Is
They
that a
always have him.
spoof or was that really in the anime?
That's a bridge.
No,
That's a
no,
spoof.
that's Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which is a parody.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like seasons of it.
It had 50 episodes, which include and also all the movies or all the movies.
Not quite all of them, but a good amount.
The only one it was missing was technically BoJack, which kind of broke them.
Yeah, that was the movie that they were working on when they were like, okay, we're in burnout. We're in hard burnout.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I think was the real reason why they didn't continue with the Boo and stuff.
Well, they explained as much. They were like, yeah, we're done. We're burnt out and it's not coming together and we're just gonna move on.
Which I do not like the BoJack movie either. So I can kind
think
of
I've seen
stand
that
along.
one.
I didn't even know there was a movie. I watched the series and liked it a
Uh,
lot.
So keep in mind when we say movie, it's really just like a higher budget, like OVA put together.
But sometimes the budget wasn't all that much higher.
What was that?
It was,
BoJack
More,
Unbound.
but-
Yeah.
When you say BoJack, you're talking about BoJack Horseman?
No. I thought that
Oh.
last time too. Yeah. No,
Okay.
they were talking about BoJack Unbound DBZ, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys still talking about Dragon Balls?
So it was a
Yeah.
movie that took place like after the Cell Saga, as Gohan being the main
Yeah.
character. The fuck?
I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know.
Animation's good, but it's not a good movie.
I just love hearing some of the dub voice acting whenever I watch DBZ, where you have these moments where it's just still frames of like Gohan or Krillin, and you just hear or and I'm like,
That's
you
the
know
Frieza
what? This
saga, my
wasn't
friend.
needed, but I still kind of enjoy it at the same time.
That is the Frieza saga. Left and right.
Yep.
Okay, I think my game.
Charging up for 30 minutes.
Listen, they had to save on the animation budget.
I know.
How about that animation?
Like it was
Oh no, we've got wind spirits.
Go to
Or
sleep.
Phantoms. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
I don't
And
know
I'm
why.
being chased by zombies. Oh,
I don't
this
know
is
why.
lovely.
I don't know why our skins were doing that.
Might have been a server problem or something. I don't know.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
lagging just a bit.
I went back like into it where you fix your skin and it was showing like I had no custom skins at all.
All right,
So
I'm sleeping.
I just had to import it again.
Billy, get out of your
Nighty-night.
cave while we discuss art.
Ah,
Speaking of art, I think I'm gonna hit the pencils tonight and tomorrow. I didn't draw all week, man.
yeah, that's right. You owe us.
I
Now,
know.
three
Why you guys like
drawings.
3 drawings? My goodness.
Oh my god, I need to find the get the GIF. Of,
I didn't meet the deadline. Am I fired?
Yes. Listen, I'm gonna get Negan's bat, Lucille. Just you know.
Oh, stop it.
What are you talking about? You are fired regardless whether you finish the work or not. That's how it works in the
Fair
industry,
enough,
baby.
sir. Yeah.
In this economy, we're gonna fire everybody anyways.
No,
You're
no,
hired.
we're
You're
gonna
fired.
give you
You're
the-
hired. You're fired.
We're gonna
And
give
then you'll hire
Everybody's
back at
fired
worse
and they're
rates.
gonna love it.
hold up. We're gonna give you the Milton treatment.
Animated Moon
you
is
were
laying it
fired,
down right now, man.
You were fired, and we're just not gonna tell you. Like, okay,
I want to do my drawings.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm going to set the building on fire.
Yeah. but yeah.
you got my
Okay, but
15.
set the building on fire.
I believe you have my stapler.
I love that movie.
Great movie.
Thing is, you.
No, I just didn't feel like going. I love it.
Yeah, it's
I'm
completely
just not gonna
justified
go.
what we did.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm like, yeah, they deserve to have their office building get burned down.
The beginning when
Umbrella.
he's driving and he's stuck in traffic. and
Umbrella,
he's
get
watch-
in the bed.
He's listening to gangster rap and he's got the guy in the
Was.
walker that's passing him.
Do it now.
I love that.
There
part.
you go.
What?
We'll get these wind spirits out of here. There we go. Perfect.
That's right. We're gonna have to break their kneecap. Not getting our drawing. We'll get real off again. All right.
What's that, Billy?
Am I lagging or something?
You're lagging just a little bit. Your audio was just a
Not
little
terrible.
muffled.
Just a little.
I don't know. It's been like this all fucking night. I'm kind of getting pissed. Like I couldn't even
House
play
is
the
like burning in the
opening because
background.
it
He's
was
like, I'm a little upset.
Oh, listen. Fucking internet bullshit.
Yeah.
You're telling me, my
Oh, dude.
man, YouTube has been a nightmare as of late with bit rates and stuff like that.
Oh,
The funny
dude.
thing is,
with
both of
that.
your streams were
I
fine
noticed that
last night.
too.
I was jumping between both of them.
I did change it to variable bit rate, so that probably helped a lot.
Mm.
Because that means that it'll actually like tank the quality rather than the frames, and that's better than the alternative.
I'm getting like issues on the as a user trying to hit the buttons and just trying to go to the main page. It just sometimes everything seems to get unactivated. If
Hey,
it's turned off
Umbrella.
for some reason.
What do you think from where you can see out your door there? Is the tower too high?
Hold on. From the main floor.
Just
the
try
second?
looking out your balcony to where my village is. My tower is up there.
If it's too high.
Yeah.
It's pretty tall. Hold on. Let me. No. Okay, I didn't die.
That's good. That's a start.
Crisis averted.
Strong start. Okay.
How? Where do they keep coming? I have this well lit. I don't understand.
Did she get blown up by a creeper again?
No, I didn't
Whoa, this
get
got
blown
creeper is
up.
like
She got
all up
blown
in
again.
there. What is going on? That shouldn't be happening.
Wait, what?
There's creepers
think
like
you got-
all up in the house.
Yeah.
Listen, she wasn't dressed appropriately. She was getting blown up by creepers every morning. That's just all I'm saying.
I don't
As
know
you do.
why this keeps happening. I have it really well lit, I think.
Mm.
There we go.
Are you sure the top of the house is well?
Yes,
Has at
Do you
least,
need
like,
to build a
one
moat of lava? Yeah.
maybe.
I'm gonna sneeze. I'm fixing to sneeze. Oh, I didn't sneeze.
At least
Oh,
it
that's
wasn't
okay.
horrible damage. Okay.
That's a lot of damage.
Oh. I was wondering. I was like,
So Tenkage,
Mm.
where's those Ghost Rider pages? Hmm?
That's gonna be on Proof of Comics. I also have a Captain Britain omnibus coming in the mail, so I'm gonna have to show that off.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
That's kind of a deep cut, but that might be kind of cool to show off. I think I'm just gonna have to push through and show up at like 6:30 my time and hop in, a little late and show those off. So
For sure. Sure,
Yeah.
man.
Listen, Frederick, we're gonna have to break his hands.
He could always get robot hands, right?
yeah, pretty much.
That's right. You can get those business hands, right?
Yeah,
What's this?
Business.
What's all this about business?
business.
You know?
Business.
Creative business.
Yes, you guys been watching Eric July's new channel? To up
Yeah.
your business game.
I saw the shipping
business
one
game?
that was basically a swipe at Razor Fist in a way.
Yes, he
Oh, was
says
it?
he says you can lose all your money with shipping services.
Yeah, I don't think that he really intended that, but that's definitely how it came across, and it's kind of funny.
I don't think Razor meant any ill will by it either. It's just
No, he was
it's just
casually
where
answering.
he chose to get offended by it. I was like,
He was on a game
um,
stream, and oh
yeah.
well, I mean,
I
Someone
mean,
just asked him. That
it's
was it. 'cause
Razor
it
Fist,
got the
dude. He's
news of-
going to be aggressive about almost anything. I mean, that's just what he does.
but who got
wasn't
upset?
even being
um,
aggressive about it
Mhm.
either. It was more he was just talking about kind of like the disagreement that him and George had. And
Yep.
here's the thing: it was something that George was telling him about, not what
It was more
Razor
George than
saying.
Razor Fist, exactly. Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me either. But yeah, I mean, shipping sucks right now. I think everybody can acknowledge that part.
It
Yeah.
also seems that George was expecting it to be a big campaign. I don't know why he
$1 million
thought that.
bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, I think he was looking at Eric July and then also forgetting that Eric July had a bunch of merchandise that
Mhm.
pushed it to those high numbers and stuff.
Yeah, it was
Like-
the YouTube followers that made it such a explosion as far as how much he made off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of it was also merchandising.
Mhm.
It was just the book that would never hit the
Yeah.
3 million.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
Merchandising,
I mean,
merchandising.
he's been building up his channel since he was 16. So like,
Yeah.
like 15 years of grinding.
Frederick, we know what you're meaning by that.
Well, we have the video, so
Yeah, we do.
it's not ambiguous. Everybody
But-
knows.
But that seems to be the thing with George and Razor. Razor, just hire an artist.
I think Razor could, and I don't want to say this. I think Razor could find a really good artist.
I think he
to do
could.
the next book, and I really think that for my taste, maybe even slightly better. I don't know, but
Well,
You know who
terms,
you-
we're just
you
good.
should get-
So
You
in
know,
terms of horses, yes.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I really like George Alexopoulos, but
Yeah.
George kind of has a bad habit of getting into drama a lot of the
Mhm.
time.
Yep.
Razor tries to avoid it. I'm wondering if that might have caused a little bit of friction.
I don't
little
even
bit.
know that he tries to avoid it. It seems like he just doesn't care about drama.
yeah, he just doesn't
Which
care.
I respect. I really respect that.
It's like if he causes drama, he's like, oh fuck, whatever, I'm just going back to my game.
Yeah, let's just go. I mean, we can all let's just go back to high school. There's just certain people who don't like drama, right? And that's kind of like the same approach.
Yeah.
Just doesn't
Yeah.
do it.
Razorfist only responds when it
Mhm.
keeps getting pushed at him. Then he'll respond.
Yeah, he's got a
But I've
big
noticed
following too,
all
so that's going to
hardware.
affect it. And a lot of people like to prod, push and prod. So
a lot of people have also learned the hard way that you don't want to get into a fight with Razor because Razor like fights back hard.
hmm
Oh, that reminds me, Otter.
you can't even disagree with him. I'll
So-
just say that much.
So Tinkage.
Yeah,
You remember movie Blob, right?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay.
that might have been a little before my time on YouTube, but yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
Okay. So I don't really watch EFAP, but I sometimes watch like clips that come from their streams get put and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like segments. One of the EFAP was them covering a movie Blob's like Halo fucking sometime after Halo Reach saying the Covenant were the good guys because of diversity.
What?
Yeah,
Sounds like a movie blob argument.
yes, it does.
And I was like,
Wow.
You mean the faction that like
Easy.
subjugate and enslaves all the
Yeah.
races
Hey,
and
that-
incorporates?
I don't think they're the
That's
good
not
guys.
even his worst video. I remember the video of his where I just straight up unsubscribed. It was him arguing that Magneto was right, and he's talking about like a childhood anecdote. He's like, he has like his, I think it's like his grandmother say, "Oh, you're just different, Bob." He's narrating to his audience. He's like, she thought that I was just different, like on an equal level, whereas my first thought is that I was superior. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no, he's weird, man.
Listen, she said that he was different because most kids are like, 50, 60 pounds. He's like breaking 300 at that age, Quite
He
different
was
from
born
kids.
to rant about video games on the internet all day long.
He
Oh my
made a.
God.
I watched a video that went into him a little bit. Like he made a book that sold absolutely terrible, where he basically called the console wars his personal Vietnam.
Oh my goodness. It's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm
I-
starting to
I
like him
remember-
now.
Wow.
I remember hearing about this book. There's like one book where he's talking about like how Super Mario Brothers 3 like the best game of all time, which
Yeah, that's the book.
fair
yeah.
enough, but it's all like personal anecdotes. And one of the sections is apparently he neglects to go to his grandmother's funeral to get an AC.
Yes.
I'm like,
That's
what?
right.
To get a what? You
An
skipped
air
out there.
conditioning unit.
Where does he live?
It's important.
I frankly have no clue.
I don't know. We're just gonna say
Crucial
Canada
information there.
because,
Yeah.
I don't. What was the one video where he was saying he works out and he gets chicks really easily?
Wait,
Remember
what?
that one?
I remember
he's
there was a
giving
You don't
video
have
where
time
he
for
was
YouTube if
talking
that's
about
the
like
case. Yeah.
he was railing on Fat Albert for being fat, and I'm like, have you looked in the mirror lately, Bob?
You know, we were talking about Magneto though. What a great villain. I always liked Magneto a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought he
Oh
was
yeah,
awesome.
Magneto's great.
And he's one of those characters where you're supposed to have like a slight bit of sympathy for him, but you don't go all the way, and that's what makes him such a great villain. You know?
Well,
Yeah,
he's a
but
great-
he
He's a
wasn't
great
the
villain in
brightest.
the sense that it's like you know exactly where he's coming from, and you can even kind of agree with like his general like idea, but
it's that extra step that you're
it's
just
that
not willing
extra
to
step
take.
where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
Yeah.
too far.
And I love the actor who played him, like Michael Fassbender. He's really
Yeah,
good at
he's
playing
good
the
as
villain.
young Magneto.
Mhm.
My preferred Magneto is like the 6'7" muscle bound Magneto,
Oh,
like
yeah.
really tall. But none of the
Oh,
movies
you
did
like
that,
those
and it's
muscle
okay.
bound, man.
Yeah.
Just remember that Magneto was outsmarted by a wooden gun.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah,
A
the
wooden
movies
guy.
were definitely different.
Well, you have to defeat him somehow. It's like he's too powerful for the
Yeah.
writers' imagination.
Mhm.
He didn't even try fighting back. He just gave up. There was like literally a cop car he could have squished him with.
Well, and that's the thing about his character is there's a soft heart in there somewhere, but he's just got like all this angst.
Murderous rage.
Yeah, that too. It's a
Genocidal intent.
more direct. Yeah, there you go.
Does he really have a soft heart, though, or is it like manipulating the mutants to build his army?
I don't know because aren't there arcs where like Professor X dies and he becomes kind of like the new leader of the X-Men? I mean, I'm a little hazy on that, but doesn't he have a turning point where he kind of becomes a good guy?
I mean, you could be right. I haven't read all of the X-Men stuff, so
Yeah, I feel like that happens, but I just don't know when. Maybe that's a Grant Morrison X-Men kind of thing.
Hey, do y'all remember when
New X-Men,
do y'all remember when Professor X died and he used his retarded brother's dead body to get born back to life?
no.
I remember
Are you talking about the
Sounds-
movies or the comics?
the movies.
I do remember that they don't consider X-Men 3 canon anymore because doesn't he die in that movie?
Yes, but it's
Yeah.
canon because at the very end of the movie, and it actually the movie still goes off in the continuity.
Yeah, I hate that movie. X-Men 3 is bad. It's a bad
I've
movie.
never seen the third one. I've
It's not a
only
good one.
seen. I've
The
only seen
Last
the
Stand.
first one, I don't think I've seen 2, and I've only seen X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yes. Oh man,
I
I'm
like
sorry.
1 and
So
2.
yeah, X1, X2 are really good for the originals. I think X1, X2, Days of Future Past is okay, and then what was it? First Class.
First Class
pretty
is
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those 4, you could skip Apocalypse, you could skip Last Stand,
Apocalypse
And-
is really stupid.
and then yeah, that's pretty much it. And the Wolverine movies, Origins is definitely the worst one.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I remember me and my brother. I don't think it was on Daily Motion that we watched it,
Mm.
but we watched it on some other site, right? Like back in the day, like 2011, 2010, something like that.
Mhm.
And it was an incomplete version of the film. There was a part, like really obviously, where he gets flipped over. He gets hit by like a logging truck or something like that.
Mhm.
And it was the previs. It was like a generic
Yeah. Incomplete
human body.
CGI and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, being flipped over. It's like an obvious render out of like
There was
freaking Maya or something
leak
like that.
of the movie online.
And that's the version that I saw.
Yeah, I think that movie, like, it shoots itself in the foot with the intro. It just reveals way too much with just the intro of Wolverine and Sabretooth going through all history together.
It's basically
Yes.
one big exposition dump, but that exposition dump involves a lot of plot twists too.
It also becomes hard continuity wise because wouldn't Wolverine or not Wolverine, well, wouldn't Sabretooth remember that Wolverine's his brother in the first movie?
Well, they always brainwash them. They're kind of MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Wolverine number 50, you see how they create their memories in studios. So they were really brainwashed slaves. Well, you know what I mean by control.
'Cause I don't
mind
think they're
controlled.
literally brothers. I think he means brother in a different context. But
Yeah.
yeah. I know you're a big
I mean-
Wolverine fan too, so I think I've read the same issue.
Yeah, well, there was
mean-
a while you'd wonder if he was his father.
That's yeah, I remember that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the movie.
Well, full circle, real quick. The guy who played William Stryker was the bus driver in Trick or Treat.
Wow, what a comeback to the topic. That's
yeah,
like
there we go. Full circle.
chapeau.
X2. Yep. He was William Stryker in the second X-Men movie.
Yeah. Hot take, I like all the X-Men
Wait.
movies, like even the bad ones I get
Yeah,
enjoyment out of
I
them.
can appreciate that.
Isn't there only like
Bad
one
movies
William
are
Stryker
bad movies,
that we
right?
know about?
Mhm.
Entertaining.
There's only one Tenkage.
What, one X-Men movie?
Yeah, there was only
Yeah,
one.
the first one, right?
Stryker.
No, well, yeah, there's only one, but then you have, I think he's younger. Or wait, isn't there a junior? I'm pretty sure there's a junior. William Stryker Jr. I can't remember.
Are you talking about
Alright.
from Logan? That one? The scientist?
William Stryker is the head of the Weapon X program.
No. I know that. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about, you're talking about his son, which was in like,
No. I'm talking about the original. The father was in X2. Brian Cox. That's the name of the actor. Colonel.
yeah, but
That's
he was
an
the
unfortunate
actual,
name.
he was the actual Stryker.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
not
it's
in
an
Hollywood.
unfortunate name. Yeah.
Listen, we're not considering the one from X-Men Origins. That's all
Oh,
I'm saying.
okay. I was confused. Thanks.
I don't know what crazy shit you're into in your house, but
None of that.
that man does not exist in this house, boy.
Listen here, boy.
Reminds me of you telling me Animated Moon you didn't love not Deadpool?
Oh yeah.
That is
I didn't know. I didn't even know that was Deadpool the first time. I mean, I didn't know anything about comics or anything like that. I was just like,
yeah.
okay, this
I was
is
like-
this is happening. Laser eyes, sure, why not at this point?
I was like
It's so
10 or 11
embarrassing.
whenever I watched that movie, and I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
My dad lets me know, he's like, yeah, I think that's Deadpool, but I'm not sure.
He was sure. He was sure that it's not Deadpool.
Like,
yeah. No, and
my
they
dad and
reference it
I,
in the later
neither of
movies,
us
I
are
think.
like the big neither of us are big like Deadpool fans, but we're
Uh-huh.
still with that movie. We're like, oh, that's how they treated him.
Yeah, exactly, and that was pretty much everyone else. And I think they make fun of that scene in the Deadpool movies, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
have him show up and kill. Fucking
Yeah, excellent.
Deadpool from that.
Yeah, tip of the hat for that.
Like, oh. That was weird because Ryan Reynolds, I think it was that, and then he followed it up with the Green Lantern movie. Oh,
Green Lantern was.
I
forgot about that.
That was
Thanks for
before
bringing it up.
Deadpool. That
Yeah.
was it? No. The Wolverine X-Men Origins,
Was that
and then the
before
Green
Deadpool?
Lantern film.
I forget, man.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just
I see
a
what you mean.
bombardment of superhero movies there for a while. You know?
Green Lantern came out in 2008, didn't it? 2009.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, something
Same
like
year as
that.
Iron Man, huh? No wonder.
Man, the CG in that was just it was something else. But I remember learning that like just how insane CG is because there was one of the people who worked on that movie. Her job was just animating tongues, and so she studied for like 2 years how the tongue works in the human body, and like that was her entire job and her expertise. It was
That
just-
sounds
Wow.
like a million times worse than hands. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
So, there was a dude who had a worse job than that animated. Whoever at Rockstar had to animate fucking balls on a horse.
This poor guy.
He's like, all right, Rockstar's their deciders like, all right, we want the balls to be big and then we want them to shrink in the snow.
Why do you think it was a
Day.
guy that was animating the balls for some reason?
Because it was probably a dude. This is Rockstar.
And here's the thing: is that I guarantee he probably was working like crazy crunch. So he's spending 100 hours a week getting horse balls.
It definitely
He
was.
goes on a first date with a lady. She's like, "What do you do?
What do you do for a living?
Well, I animate horse balls.
Oh, that's unique.
Hey, well, how much do you make doing this? Yeah.
Everyone- keep in mind, it has to be like he spent
I'm actually
2 years-
fired already.
Keep in mind, he had to do this for 2 years because the crunch,
Oh,
massive
man.
crunch that Rockstar was doing, like 100-hour weeks or whatever it
Oh
was,
yeah. Oh my
for
gosh.
2 years straight.
My
Jesus.
sympathy
That's
for those people.
insane
Like-
crunch.
Get into animation, they said. It'll be great, they said.
So, like, I know I talked about this with Otter a while back. Like, you understand that there's going to be crunch in any industry you're in. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
what it is, you know. But there is like a certain level of, all right, can't go that far, you know. With
Yeah.
crunch.
No.
2
Yeah.
years is insane.
They did that with L.A. Noir as well, I believe. L.A. Noir.
They do it with a lot of their projects. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Thief 2 was like an incredibly rushed game. I think that game, it was like I don't think they were even being paid by the end of that project. They're just like, hey, we got pizza in here. Let's try and finish this game.
Would
So
like
people were
some
like
food?
sleeping at their desks and everything.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but the
Halo
difference
2
with that was they
is-
were like dedicated to the project and shit.
Yeah. Well, that was the way it was with Halo 2. Halo 2 had like an absurd amount of divorces involved in it, apparently. Like,
That's
not
awesome.
even kidding. Yeah, it's insane because like they were working such outrageous hours.
You know what really fucking sucked about that game, or what sucked about development?
Hmm.
Because they were wanting, what is it? It's a certain type of lighting trick.
Oh yeah, the really deep shadow, the vector shadows or something like that, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I just watched something recently on this
It's
where
That was big during the time, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
they were-
it was.
so they were really wanting that. That's why like a lot of the how it's modeled and stuff, like the characters and all that, because it was supposed to be meant for that lighting. However, no time, couldn't run on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
So you ended up with not the greatest looking of it, you know, but what it could have been if you, because I think some people are modding it to actually have it like it was originally intended,
hmm
how good it would look.
Honestly, like even despite that, like a lot of people kind of bash it first look at something, but like if you really like, especially like the environments and stuff like that, that game is still unbelievable. It's like, oh my gosh, this came out in 2004.
Yeah,
And like the gameplay feel of it, the mechanics, it's still like
yeah. I remember when it came out.
Unbelievable.
It was pretty wild.
yeah, same.
Everybody was going nuts about that game.
Yeah.
Did you hear the news, guys?
Mm,
Uh,
I hope not.
343 is
Right.
dead,
oh gosh, yeah.
Sort
but
of.
not really.
Wait, what?
They
So,
rebranded.
yeah, 343. Now, technically, they did fire like a lot of people beforehand.
Oh,
This was
okay.
before the rebranding, but there's still some of the dipshits that don't need to be there still there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change. They
No.
got rid of 343, rebranded them to just be called Halo Studios now.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah.
It's,
Bunch
it's
of
just like, and now they want to put out like 5 new Halo games. It's just like, guys, like,
Oh. Yeah, and they're switching to Unreal Engine.
Oh, boy.
probably help in the long run, honestly.
Yeah.
From what I know, with
Slipstream, I guess, is a nightmare.
from what I know with the slip space, it's still like baked in with Halo 2's code, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a Bethesda situation where like it's just kind of being strung along. Same with Dice and a lot of engines, actually, a lot of custom engines.
Right,
That's
because
why
like
a lot of people are going over to Unreal because like they don't have time or resources to build an entire freaking engine, and that's Unreal's whole thing is just being like
right because
yeah,
it's
just hyper focus on this.
and the problem is, from what I know, I think I've heard from like one of the main dudes over Halo 2 when he was talking about because it was a Halo and like he's like, oh yeah, you wonder why it has so many problems? Still using Halo 2 code and shit.
Yeah.
That was messed up from the beginning.
Well, and yeah, and Halo, like I've heard Halo 2 as being described as held together with popsicle sticks and Scotch tape, and on a good day, like
Spaghetti code.
it's such a mess. Yeah, from what I've heard.
Yeah, they
In
like to say
fairness-
what works. I mean, I would guess, having not worked in the industry, I would just guess surface level that if something works, they try to stick with that as long as they can until it basically can't go anymore.
I mean,
Well, a lot
yeah,
of
it
it
depends
is-
on the studio, but yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of it's
Well-
time, money, and debugging time, and
Yeah.
it like it's exponential. Like you start fixing one problem, you got to fix a ton of other problems as well. Especially if it's like a spaghetti code situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got a major like project on your hands there,
It's
especially if it's like a
also-
game engine or something.
Gotcha.
yeah. What?
It's also just they have developers that know the code as well. They don't have to
Oh gosh.
learn how to work with the new game engines as well.
Mhm.
That too. And it takes quite a bit of time to get up to speed with a lot of those tools.
Well, I
because
think
they're
that's
very
the reason why
complex.
they're taking this new engine is because they lost a lot of the developers who knew the old engines.
Oh,
Yeah, that could be it too.
Could have been
It is
a
worse
case of
with
poor
Microsoft.
documentation, and
That's a
if
thing
you-
for sure.
Yeah,
I do
if
that
you-
for a living, so I know that for a fact.
I do too. And here's the thing: it's like if you don't have good documentation, once you start losing people, you start
Yep.
losing knowledge.
Oh
So-
yeah.
And
Generational too.
you
Exactly.
never have good documentation.
Yeah, that's a thing
Yep.
too. Absolutely. There's no such thing as perfect documentation. It just doesn't
So-
happen.
correct me if I'm wrong, Animate Moon. You might be able to back me up on this.
Mhm.
Microsoft also has like some of the most retarded shit when it comes to their hiring because they'll fire people right as they're learning the code and getting used to it, and then they'll fire them, recycle out like new people, and just keep doing it over and over again.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I've never heard anything specific, but I do know that like they basically there's an ex Microsoft employee who I watched a video on talking about like Windows 10 and stuff like that, and basically they have it's live beta testing. It's like yeah, we'll just fix it with heuristics. We'll just send it out the door, and then as data comes in as to what's going wrong and stuff like that, using spyware, they'll fix it in post, basically. Like everything in a lot of industries, the motto now is just fix it in post in a lot of
Yeah.
regards.
Sounds like the same approach that gaming industries take. The gaming
Yeah,
industry
well,
takes, basically.
And I think what it really comes down to is you guys probably are familiar with this term, but tech debt.
hmm
Yes. Yeah. Technical
yeah.
debt.
Where it's like, okay, like who is going to like? Do we even have the resources to tackle that problem? Because with spaghetti code, if you start to fix it, it's not like you can be like, oh, we'll fix this one part here real quick. And then like over the years, we'll just keep fixing it. It's like, no, if you fix that one thing, it's going to break everything else. So it's all or nothing.
You need to slowly and systematically break things into different functions. And it can be really hard to do because you have to go through so many hoops to understand what the variables do in what context and what they go through.
It's why
The Wrangler.
Hey, frequency.
It's why it's usually better to go in slow kind of like increments where it's like, yeah, you're going in like small little chunks of features, but at the same time you've got like proper beta testing in place. You are making sure that that what you've got in place there is solid and that you can reuse it without having to retool a bunch of things. So it's like, it's one of those things where in the short term it takes a lot of extra time and work, but in the long run it saves you so much.
But you have to have that upfront cost.
Yeah, you've got to have that up front. You pretty much have to let your customer base know that as well. It's like, hey, this is going to take a little bit of time, especially if it's a long-term project.
Well, and the customer base is going to, for the most part, will be okay with that. But the shareholders and the executives, it's like, good luck.
Which is why it makes sense to go with something like Unreal Engine, to use something that has, first of all, you can hire new people that already know your engine. It doesn't have to be like in-house employees all the time that have years of experience. You can switch in and out your employees with standard stuff.
You've also got a documentation base that is being updated pretty consistently.
That's a good point.
And constant development outsourced. It's being handled by Unreal.
So with that being said, what do we think do we think we'll get another good Halo game?
Oh, heck no. No way that's happening. But it really comes down to like, even if they had like the perfect team, even if they had the perfect tech and people who really know what they're doing, at the end of the day, none of them made Halo what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would much rather see them strike out on their own and make something new, maybe Halo adjacent, but fun and like not having to live up to that legacy. Like a legacy
at that point, it might just be better to just do a whole new title.
Exactly.
You remember in Halo 3, whenever the tagline for the game was "Finish the fight"? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was actually the case instead of going another like 3, 4, 5, 6 games where it's like technically you're not finished.
Ever.
Yeah, I think I still have a copy of just Halo LAN. Like you can't play it any other way. It's just the Halo LAN edition for LAN parties.
Yeah,
that's edition.
Yeah,
man, and like that's the thing is these games are old. These IPs
they are now. Yeah,
old. Like.
Hey, careful what you say there, boy.
Well, I'm talking like tech wise. I'm talking like culture wise, right?
Yeah.
Classic. And so like it's the equivalent of us trying to like keep Pitfall alive in the 2000s or something like that.
Yeah. Totally different audience, totally different game, gaming environment, different technology. Like, yeah, it's.
Which I mean, like I've met kids who like are into Halo, right? But they're into the old Halo in the same way, like. I grew up in the 2000s the same way I was into like Chrono Trigger or whatever, right? And it's like I don't want a new or need a maybe I kind of do want a new Chrono Trigger, but I don't trust them.
I get what you're saying though. Like you have better technology, but how do you recreate that experience? Right? Can you? Right? Because you had limited tech, and I guess that goes back to the quote. I think it was Orson Welles that said it, that the enemy of art is convenience or something like that,
like Unbound.
Yeah,
the lack of restriction or something like that.
Yeah, he was saying that being restricted makes better art.
Yeah,
I think that applies maybe to technology too with gaming. I don't know.
100% does.
It really does.
Yeah, and
I mean that's that's why the indie sphere has really like everyone's like, yeah, forget AAA, let's stick to the indie sphere because that's
Yeah,
what the
they're crushing
indie
it
sphere
right now.
is. It's that limitation. It's that spirit of limitation.
When I get
It's not
time to game,
hardware
I'm playing nothing
limitation.
but indie games. So
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not hardware limitations that are going around so much as it is financial limitations.
yeah,
Like,
that's a
how
whole
can we
meme.
make this game with a with the budget we've got, which you can do a lot, but there's still kind of like that. Okay, we got to make it as good as possible with what we've got.
Yeah,
Well, and it becomes a lot more sincere because it's like, okay, like this is going to be a lot of work, but I love this for the sake of it, right?
Mhm.
It's why I think a lot of these people who are such kind of vocal, like I guess parasites within the industry are freaking out, is because well, they don't have passion a lot of the time. They don't want to make games for any other reason than to get something out of it, whether it be
Yeah.
financial or, and I'm not really talking about the developers, but like you know who I'm talking about.
yeah,
AAA will attract a lot of parasites because that's why they're going for the biggest budget as possible.
Yeah,
But then it's
Audience.
easy. It's
Yeah.
easier to bring in bloat. It's easier to bring in more people, and
Well,
you know,
Yeah,
more
like,
job assurance.
they're not aiming for people like me that I'll spend like $6 on a game like Path of Akra, a roguelike, and play that
So-
for like 10 hours. You know,
A good example of this would be with Baldur's Gate 3, with the certain developers and shit, the shitty ones being like,
Mhm.
we can't reproduce this. This is making
yeah,
people's
yeah.
expectation of our games is gonna be too high. And it's like, just make better games. I don't know.
Isn't
Getting
like
Ass kicked by AA.
it's different.
isn't like
culture
one of the
now.
lead developers of Larian like railing against Ubisoft now?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
much they're
He
fucking
called them
up.
out.
Good.
It is the Larian publisher dude who's over that is the one who was like shitting on Ubisoft.
Well,
Like-
Larian is actually a kind of a rags to riches story in a lot of ways. They're a developer that's been around for decades, and what was it before they really hit it big with Divinity: Original Sin 1? It was like they put that game up for Kickstarter, and if it failed, they were out of business.
Well, if I remember correctly, Divinity: Original Sin, the IP's been around for a while. for
Yeah,
Larian.
Divinity has been around for quite a while, but it was Divinity: Original Sin that really catapulted them kind of like
Right.
financially because they were about to be out of business.
And if what's the name for Wayward?
Wayward
Realms.
Realms. I'm really rooting for it. I hope it ends up fulfilling its promises, and I hope they get it finished soon.
So, Animated Meme Tenkage, have y'all seen it?
No, I haven't.
So, you know the dudes behind Daggerfall, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they're making basically a updated Daggerfall. That's what the game is.
Okay. I mean that can go one of two ways. You know, we've seen that story. You know, never forget Mighty Number 9.
So,
It is a risk, but I hope they deliver it. Like
yeah,
you're-
I mean that'd be cool.
like even if they've got everything in place, like the right ideas, the right budget, and everything, it's still going to be tough actually getting it right. But I hope they pull it off, because
Be
if they
very
pull it
cool.
off, you're going to get probably one of the most dynamic RPGs you've ever experienced.
yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to achieve everything they're wanting to get with the game, because they're wanting like full on seasons and shit. I don't think I've
Depends
seen
on
the game.
how in depth they go with that.
Right. But I watched an interview with what's his name?
Julian LaFay,
No, the other one.
Ted Peterson.
Yeah, Ted Peterson. I was watching an interview with him. It was done like 3 or 4 months ago with Kickstarter stuff, right? He was throwing a little shade at Bethesda. I saw. He's like, yeah, I was like the director on like Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion. But for some reason, they just didn't bring me back for Skyrim. I don't know why. And I was like, Oh, and I sent you a video of what's his name, the fucking retard writer for Bethesda.
Emil Pagliarillo.
Yeah, where he's like, gamers are just going to skip all the dialogue and the story, so the story doesn't matter. They're going to spend all their time building a cabin, so we don't really care.
He
about
is the head writer.
Yes.
He is the head writer, and I'm
Wow.
like, whenever you're the head writer and you're pretty much telling people, oh yeah, people aren't going to care about my writing, so fuck off, I'm not going to put any effort into it. I'm like, yeah, so your story's going to be shit, regardless.
I don't even think it's that he's not going to put any effort into it. I think he's just covering up that he can't write. But saying, no, guys, it doesn't matter. It's like, no, I think it matters, especially for an RPG.
How long has he been a head writer at Bethesda?
Oh my god.
Like since Fallout 4, I think, or something like that.
Okay,
was he
because
there for
it was
Skyrim?
Fallout 4
Skyrim kinda
whenever
sucked.
Fallout 4 was whenever people really started like having problems
Oh.
with Bethesda stories.
Hold
Yeah.
up. Let me. What's his name again?
Emil Pagliarillo. No, I don't know how you spell that.
Pago, really? Jesus.
Pagliarillo.
All right, I pulled up gorillas. I put him there. Let me show. I mean, I
You know,
suppose.
that's
maybe they
about
can
the
do a
level
better
of
one.
writing for Bethesda games now. So I mean,
All
it's
right, let me
pretty
show
good.
you this because this is funny. I mean, I see why. I put
Best
gorilla.
they could do is gorillas.
I can see why it bring up gorillas, but all right.
So Emil is spelled M-E-I-L, I believe. E-M-I-L. My bad. I don't know why I said M-E-I-L.
M-E-I-L.
E-M-I-L.
Wait, hold up. Say that one more time.
E-M-I-L.
Emil.
Are we talking about Harambe now?
Hold up. Stop.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is the state of research in 2024.
All right, let's see his video games.
We're not even using AI. What the heck, guys?
All right, this makes a whole lot of sense, guys. Fallout 4,
That brave
Fallout
AI
3,
search. Yeah.
Skyrim, Starfield, Fallout 76.
Such a good writer, guys.
Yeah, I can. Boy, I can really attest to the writing. I think he wrote the main quest for Fallout 3, which explains a lot. Anyways, yeah, I think he's just a bad writer, guys, trying to say, oh, no, gamers don't care about story at all in RPG.
He's really a good
Which is
writer,
wild
guys.
to
Trust
say
me.
that. Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyways, Bethesda, get rid of this dumb fuck.
They
And
won't.
stop making your game so simply fucking retarded. You do realize
Spoiler, they won't. Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to be good.
Well, hold up.
Same.
Did you hear the news?
No.
Elder Scrolls 6 is in a playable state, the first time ever in a Bethesda game.
Really?
That's like quite an accomplishment, don't you know?
I'm skeptical.
When did it come out originally?
About what?
The game that you just said, Elder Scrolls
Elder
6.
Scrolls 6?
Oh
Like,
well,
yeah.
the announced trailer was
Like 3 years ago?
2021.
No,
Yeah.
it was a long time ago.
no,
Yeah.
it was like it was 2018.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
What,
Yeah.
Was it really that long?
Yes.
I thought it was like 3
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah,
No,
because Otto
it's
remember
forever.
5
when
years
we
is
looked it
pretty
up
typical
earlier?
for Bethesda, though, isn't it?
It's been a lot longer than
Yeah,
that.
that's what I thought.
It's going
Okay.
to be longer as well.
Yeah.
I think they've
They screwed
just
up
been
with
writing
Starfield.
I think they've been writing the success of Skyrim for so long.
Yes.
And
they
then,
100% do.
I think they've spent way more time than they probably should have on Starfield. I think they were putting all of their eggs in that one basket,
Yeah.
and
They
it
were.
failed.
Basically, first
Who's
person
laughing
Mass Effect,
now,
but not as
guys?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about them is it's the Jeremy Soul curse, right? Because he got Me Too'd with like allegations but no proof. And ever
Yeah.
since then, they've been having problems.
Yeah.
Listen,
You know, like he made the music for I think up to Oblivion, and then after Oblivion, like he didn't make the music for any other.
no, he made it in
Bethesda
Skyrim.
project.
I think he
Did he
did.
do
for
Skyrim?
Skyrim.
No, Skyrim. After Skyrim, sorry.
Yeah.
Because Skyrim had like a pretty good OST.
No, it did. It did after
Like
Skyrim.
replaced?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Was he Me Too? I don't remember if that was.
I
the
thought he
thing.
was.
Kinda.
He
Like
was.
I didn't watch the video on it, but like there was more as well, like a botched Kickstarter or something like that.
Yeah.
That really kind of put him back on his heels as far as credibility. But yeah, he did get Me Too.
Yeah.
That
And ever
sucks.
since then, they've been having problems. You know.
Like Otter, I said, Wayward Realms. They need to just hire him.
That would be really funny, just as the biggest fuck you to Bethesda.
Yeah, that would be great.
Like
It's,
here's the thing, it's
I-
like, especially after Starfield, nobody's really rooting for Bethesda now.
No, not at all.
No, like Starfield hurt like people's expectations of Elder Scrolls 6. Like
Oh yeah, I have no faith in it. I didn't really have faith before, but now
Yeah,
it's like
That's
even-
how I feel.
I had
My brother
faith-
doesn't really follow or care about any of this, and even he was like, "Dude, Starfield is terrible."
Hey,
you
hey,
know, so-
Chinkage, you're talking to the Starfield expert. I played 100 hours of that
I'm
fucking
sorry.
game.
I'm sorry,
Oh
my
my
friend.
gosh, what is
For a
wrong with
while,
you?
I thought
You
you
can
loved
redeem
that
yourself
game.
if you try. You know.
Huh?
For a while, I thought Billy loved that game. Then about like 80 hours in, he goes, "Yeah,
I
this
hate
game
this
sucks balls."
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like I told Otter, like the first, like the opening's, it's the most horrendous opening I've ever seen in a Bethesda game. Bar none, it's the worst. But once you get after that, I was like, all right, I'm starting to enjoy some things, some of the plot. And then it just kept going, and I was like, all right. I started noticing that there's a lot of gay couples, like really frequent. I
Yeah.
started noticing. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like more than this just being a coincidence.
yeah, because I was like, I was getting to like the story, and it was like, oh, the woman would be like, oh, my wife, and I'm like, what?
But why are you
Yeah.
telling me this? Yeah, like
And then I'll go,
Just-
okay, well maybe
I'm
it's
just
just
imagining
like
it delivered in that like dry Bethesda like style.
with the blank face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it's like that's the thing that's really kind of like pissed me off the most about Bethesda writing. It's like they've improved a lot of their actual production for their games, but they never fixed that. I'm like, I think that's kind of the part a lot of people hate about your games.
Oh, and like you had no fun. Like, so I still love Skyrim. It is a very flawed, game. However,
But
I
it's still
still
great.
love the world and the atmosphere, the music, and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Aesthetic.
Hey, Frequency. This music, this background music is from Oblivion, if I remember right.
No, that's
Yes,
from
yes,
Skyrim.
it is.
Skyrim. See.
Oh, wait, yeah,
throwing it
okay.
up left and right. Yeah, Skyrim. Yep. Jeremy.
So, and even Fallout 4, like I love the open world aesthetic of it, the map.
I just don't like the story in that game.
Yeah, I don't like the story and the any other role playing
Yep.
combat.
My favorite character that I played in that was a drugged up psycho with a baseball bat. That was fun. Taking those
So,
super mutants on
that's
like
how you
3
do it,
shots
man.
of jet.
Exactly.
Where's
that's how you play it.
Sean?
But
Yeah.
Starfield didn't.
No,
even
I
have
sold
that.
my wedding ring for drugs. I was like, I don't care.
Starfield didn't even have
I don't need
that.
this ring. I need some jet.
Starfield had generic, procedurally generated ass.
Procedurally generated ass, huh?
Yeah,
Really?
like it was,
Alright.
Here's the thing, like the
future is
procedural
now, I guess.
generation part of Starfield could have been great. It's just I don't think Bethesda went in with the right mindset with that.
yeah, they went in. Oh, we can just make 5 or 6 assets, and then that's it, guys. We're done. Let's go home. That's what they did. I was like, you can't do that. You can't do that with procedural. You cannot do that. Because what's going to happen? It all feels the fucking same. It's like, oh. There wasn't even a volcano planets, by the way, in Starfield. Their volcanic planets are black soot with streaks of smeared paint shit.
Were there any like any Easter eggs at all to like any of the other games?
Yeah, there was a shitty Skyrim Easter egg.
How are you gonna do a
Bizarre.
Skyrim Easter egg and no Oblivion or Morrowind or Daggerfall?
Oh no, there was a
Because Skyrim is the only thing that matters and exists now.
Yeah.
No, there was
Try
an
it again.
Oblivion one.
I know.
There was an Oblivion one with the fan.
Mm.
One.
That's true.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
yeah okay.
That was it.
That's it, huh? Really? Wow.
Like,
It'd be cool if they did like an Oblivion Gate or something, you know? Just like randomly, some planet.
Ruins of a
Yeah.
oh no, it'd been fun if they had like a fucking Skyrim planet or some joke or something. They could have done
Yeah.
so much.
I
They could
know.
have done a
And that's the
Fallout
thing.
planet.
They didn't even try, is what it really sounds like to me.
Kinkage, what's your favorite Elder Scrolls game?
My favorite, I know that that's kind of a hard question. My favorite from what I first started with Oblivion. I didn't play Morrowind.
Yeah.
And I went back and played Morrowind and Daggerfall, and I love both. But Oblivion for me is just it's kind of like going back home because it's the first one I played. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best game technically, but it's the one I enjoy. Probably the
Listen,
most.
he misses the I need to re-record my line again.
Yeah. The paralyzed spell in
Oh,
Oblivion
man.
is a lot of fun.
Oh my-
But yeah, I like
used the-
Daggerfall with Unity a lot, and Morrowind is great. So I think all of them beat Skyrim. But I won't lie, when Skyrim first came out, I was pretty stoked about it. I had a good time with it.
Say,
so-
oh my gosh, I was hyped for Skyrim.
Yeah.
when it
So,
was new.
technically,
Everyone was hyped for Skyrim. Like
Yeah.
Skyrim was like legitimately great marketing.
Yeah. Like,
So this is really funny because my first one was Oblivion.
mhm.
I didn't get Skyrim. You know how I got Skyrim? My stepdad's brother and uncle. He was just randomly playing Skyrim on Christmas, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks
This game
cool."
looks
And he was
awesome.
doing-
Yeah.
Now, what build do you think he was playing as?
Stealth sniper or stealth
Archer, yeah, Rogue,
every time.
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." I didn't even know.
It's
that,
funny
you
how
know,
it defaults into that. Yeah.
but, like I didn't know, you know, that Oblivion, Skyrim were part of the same at first.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, this looks
Yeah,
cool."
and I was primed for those games because I grew up playing like Heroes of Might and Magic, you know, and things like that. So when I played Oblivion, I was like, "This is awesome! This is basically the same stuff, just better graphics."
And then you
It
got
was-
the classic Sean Bean dies.
Yeah,
It was so weird.
I would always
because,
rush
like,
the arena. I would go to the arena as soon as possible in Oblivion and make a bunch of money and all that stuff, and then I would go do the rest of the game.
Mhm.
It was so weird how technically Oblivion was my first Elder Scrolls game, but it's still not the one I have the most nostalgia for.
Mhm.
Strangely enough, like I think everybody has a bit of nostalgia for their first Bethesda game.
Mhm.
For me, mine was actually Fallout 3. Then I
Yeah.
went to Oblivion right
same.
after.
Now,
And
if we're
I
talking
love
Fallout,
3.
same thing here. Yep, same thing. Fallout 3 was I wouldn't call it quite the same event of an event as Skyrim, but I would say that when Fallout 3 came out, I put a lot of hours in that game.
Yeah, but it was
yeah.
still hype because
It was definitely hype. Yeah,
because it was Oblivion with guns.
yeah,
That was the thing.
yeah. It wasn't. I don't feel like it was quite the level of Skyrim, but it was definitely hype for sure. Yeah.
Morrowind was my first Elder Scrolls game. We like could barely run it on our first PC.
Yeah.
And I freaking loved it. But like all I would do in it, because it was so hard for me, because I was like 6 when I started playing it.
Yeah.
Like all I would do is the second that I learned how to use the commands for like leveling my character up and like turning on God mode and whatnot, I would just do that and like murder everyone in Vivek. And
Yeah.
like that's all I would do. So the first Elder Scrolls game I really properly played was Oblivion on the 360, and that one's my favorite just because like
Yeah.
I put so many hours into that game.
I actually saw Morrowind before I ever experienced Oblivion, and my friend had purchased it for the Xbox, the original Xbox. So that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
first encounter with. I actually saw Morrowind first, but I didn't actually get to play it very much. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Wasn't the Imperial spy Jeffrey was like a crackhead?
Yes, he's a skooma addict.
Yeah, schematic.
By the way, I love how that game starts. Like, I think
Mhm.
every Elder Scrolls game has a fatal flaw. Each and every one of them does. I think it really comes down to personal preference, like which one you like the most.
Oh yeah.
But
100%.
it's like I would argue that like Daggerfall and Morrowind are arguably the deepest out
Yes.
of the Elder
Daggerfall
Scrolls
even
games.
more than
100%.
Morrowind, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, Daggerfall is like full on simulation.
Especially with
Yeah.
the Unity mod, you're going to get a lot of Might and Magic vibes from that.
Oh, I love Daggerfall. Unity is so much
Yeah,
fun.
It's highly recommended to anybody. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I've been kind of like exploring a lot of like RPG books lately, and one that I ended up checking out that's been getting a lot of press lately has been Shadow Dark.
Hmm.
So I've been checking out the book. What I did not realize is that the rule book that it comes with, it's pretty robust to the point where it actually allows you to play solo. And it basically has like a hex generation system to where it's like you're rolling for random encounters as you go. There's like a random dungeon generation system and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and just play solo, see how it happens. And I got like a very Daggerfall type feel while I was playing it. I'm like, this game is brutal, but
Yeah.
it's arguably a ton of fun.
I think I saw somebody with a screenshot of the book too. It looked pretty nice.
It's a really cool cover for
Yeah.
the book. What I like about it is like it has a very unique way of letting you generate dungeons, which is you're rolling to see what the dungeon size is. And it's like, okay, it's going to be like small, medium, or large. Here's the amount of dice that you have to roll. It'll be like 5d10, 12d10, or something like that. And there's a table that shows you kind of like generally what each of those correspond to. So you roll all of them at once on a blank sheet of paper, and they're like, okay, wherever those dice landed, draw rooms around them.
Oh
That's your
no!
dungeon.
Oh man!
That's kind of cool.
Oh,
Sounds like the dice method for the continents, and the islands and stuff.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. But they do that method
Build on it, right?
both for whenever you're generating dungeons and settlements. And on top of that, they're like, all right, note the actual number of each die. That's what this room is generally going to have. There is attached tables for each of them for what you're actually encountering in all of these rooms. I'm like, okay, this is pretty dope. I really like this.
And I guess it makes more rooms that are like further out, that one dice that just keeps rolling further down the table.
Yeah.
There's got to be more of those with this technique, I would imagine.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it depends on the dungeon size as well, but there's kind of like a level scaling system that the game has, which I'm sort of convinced that I've been doing it wrong whenever I've been playing it myself, because it's like, the game is deadly, like very much so, but I'm like, I think this monster generator right here is kind of borked just a little bit because they're all like insta-killing me. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel right.
That sounds like second edition or something like that of D&D.
Well, it's like first edition. It's basically if you mash together like 5e and first edition, like really low to the ground first edition. Like, what is it? Torches have an actual timer, so it's like, unless you're playing solo, burning one torch, it's like an hour of real time. Where it's like an hour of time of you guys around the table. Like once that hour is up, that's when the torch burns out. So it's like the DM is actually keeping track of it.
Okay.
It's a really interesting system. I like it.
It's at Shadow Dark, right?
Yeah, it's called Shadow Dark. It's a really cool system. I'm still gonna have to play around with it some more just to see what my final thoughts are on it. But the tables alone in it, I would recommend checking it out just for that.
And where are
it's
you
got
at
some really
with
cool tables.
where are you at with your loot script?
With my I've got it running actually. I haven't used it much since then, but it's
Man, these
technically
books
running.
are gorgeous, man. I'm looking at their site right now, the Arcane Library.
The layout they've got for the book is really
Wow,
intuitive.
look at this. First roll, that's cool. You got the so my kids are starting to get old enough to play role playing, like D&D kind of style games. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that because it's it's like you have you have a built-in campaign when you have kids. So
Right. The systems I've come across so far that seem to have the most promise. I'm going to be curious to see what other people think, but for me personally, I like Castles and Crusades, and Shadow Dark may
Yeah.
also be right there as well, because
yeah, I
both
remember
of them
Castle
have
and
like
Crusades. Definitely gonna
Yeah.
check that out too.
both of them scratch like different itches. Like Castles and Crusades is a little more second edition, I would argue.
Mhm.
Shadow Dark is like it has some like
modern?
5e mechanics, but it's like hardcore first edition at the same
Ooh,
time.
okay.
It's like really like gritty fantasy.
Yeah, we have like a my wife and I have like a board game budget, so I might add this to it.
Have you ever played Hero Quest?
No,
I know
Oh,
about
go
it, but I've not played it personally.
So Hero Quest is a lot of fun when you're a kid because it's a very simplified version of D&D basically.
Okay.
And it's a miniature based game, and it's a board game, so you have the basic board, but you have rooms, and the doors are not set, so each
Oh, okay. So it's like an RPG in a box, basically.
yeah,
Nice. Nice.
exactly. So you have like little furniture, and you have your characters you can miniature paint with your kids and stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
I know a
Thanks,
lot
man.
of DMs will talk about Hero Quest as kind of like a great introduction to the hobby.
Oh
Yeah.
it was my first time
Minion
with
and stuff. Yeah.
miniature painting, and they were so ugly when I put paint on them. I knew nothing about miniature painting back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you about my solo experience with Shadow Dark, which was interesting because I rolled 2 characters, and this is likely me playing with the rules wrong, mind you. I think so. First character I rolled was like, what was it? A human wizard or something like that. And character creation in the system is pretty quick. It only takes about 10-15 minutes because most of it you're just rolling like d6s for actually see what you get. So it's like, I think how it ended up was my character was wandering along a coastline before he just kind of like comes across a random tower that's inhabited by slimes. Determines very quickly that he is going to get destroyed by them. So he finds a nearby set of like ruins, which is like a cairn in a hillside or something. Goes in and, well, he kind of gets devoured rather quickly by a pack of carnivorous spiders. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, we got to do a wellness check on Umbrella Chan Kun Sensei.
Umbrella Chan.
Those darn spiders.
Where are you? Where are you, Billy?
Biden.
He's like, I'm here.
Yeah, what
Somewhere.
I learned about after the fact is the monsters in the book are leveled, and I think like what they have suggested for like the monster generator, it doesn't follow that at all. So it's like you start out the game with very low hit points, so it's like you encounter one of those monsters and it's like you're just dead. The ones you generate anyway.
Sorry,
Don't
I'm
worry,
looking
Team
at
Coffee,
this
we
page
can-
that Frederick is working on here. It looks great. This double
Thank
page
you.
spread right
It
here.
really
Yeah.
does.
Freaking awesome, man.
11-12, man. Yeah, I sold the page
Crushing
today
it,
as
dude.
well.
Look at that.
Thank you.
So Tenkage, we're gonna kidnap you one day and force you to play.
So,
Castle
To be
Okay.
able to draw this, I had to climb really high.
Can't kidnap the
in a
willing, dude.
tree. Can't kidnap the willing.
Are you saying there, Frederick?
No, I was saying to draw this, I had to climb really high in a tree.
Yeah. That's great.
Listen, I bought a dog for my character and gave him a cloak. Made him a special cloak. It's gonna be a knight in the town.
I ended up running a one-shot for Castles and Crusades the other day on a whim. I think it was like a game I prepped in like 30 minutes or something like that, like really short notice. It still ended up being a fun time. The people I was playing with, they ended up hiring themselves a cleric because they didn't have one themselves. They were just raiding a kobold dungeon. The thing is, they ended up getting in way over their heads, and by the end, the cleric ended up saving their butts like 2 or 3 times. So
Nice.
they only paid
Gotta
like
have a
15
healer.
gold. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying you got to have a healer.
Yeah,
Listen, this is Otter's just long-winded sent us to try to get us to hire a cleric.
They ended up hiring one, and by the end they were like, "Oh yeah, us hiring this one cleric, it's like the best thing we've ever done."
I actually like.
Sure,
playing
sure,
cleric,
Otter.
so
Sure.
I'm
Sure
totally
they
not
would.
trying to get you guys to hire a cleric. Okay,
I'll play a cleric. I mean, I've played a cleric many times in D&D. So
Listen, we have a cleric right now, albeit we'll need you as a spare cleric, you know.
Okay. all right.
Sparrow, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
a Sparrow.
We got Umbrella. I mean,
Amazing.
she does have to specify that she's doing her rituals away from the town.
Oh yeah.
Do like a lawful evil cleric. Those are always fun.
I don't know if I'll say lawful. Only,
Neutral evil.
yeah.
Lawful
Somewhat.
evil is like Magneto, you know.
Listen, don't be Kathleen Kennedy evil, okay? That's just too
I'll
far,
try my
Umbrella.
best. I
That's
can't
dark,
promise
man.
any-
That's darker
I
than
can't
the dark
promise.
side.
Yeah, I can't promise anything. So
That's when you're so dark that you destroy the dark side. That's how
Yeah.
dark Kathleen Kennedy is.
yeah.
Also,
she's
we got fucked
evil
up by a
for
turkey.
sure.
We got fucked up by an overgrown turkey in the last session.
Dude,
So,
turkeys
a
are no joke,
boobery.
man. Wild turkeys, they'll mess you up, dude.
Fuck the turkey.
Yeah, there was a couple of reasons why that bit of combat went south. Some of it might have been me putting a bit too much on you guys, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, just
Totally by accident, right?
Yeah, totally.
yeah, just you know, an enemy that can one shot most of us with one hit.
Well, it got a crit, okay?
Father was killed. By
Albeit one of the players learned that this ain't Savage World, so good luck just being able to throw shit and then die.
All right.
It's like, wrong game.
Yeah, the game is this is one thing I do really like about it. The game is very committed to being kind of like a simulation, which is fun. It's for a DM, it's really fun to do. It feels like it doesn't feel like story gaming at all, which I'm very thankful for. It's it feels more kind of like you're just kind of tracking what's going on in the world, and whatever happens is like either you're adding quests in there or it's like natural consequences of what's already being done.
Yeah.
Which that's a ton of fun for me.
I mean, I've played everything from freeform RPGs, you know, with not a lot of mechanics, all the way up to something like, I don't know, Kingdom Death, like the board
Damn,
game.
you sound like a horror RPGer, you know?
Yeah, I've definitely played quite
Been
a bit
around
of
the
them.
block, it sounds
A
like.
little bit. Yeah, I mean, like something like Kingdom Death is ruthless. So, I mean, you know, your characters, you pretty much you really shouldn't get attached to them at all because they're definitely going to die. So, I like the Dark Souls franchise. So, I mean, I'm down. I'm down for any kind of role playing game.
Yeah, if you want me to, I can always add you to our group.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on Discord.
Yeah. I know the game we're kind of running now is sort of like drop in, drop out. So it's like
Yeah.
that's kind of the nice thing about it.
Oh.
It's like if you got to drop out or if you can't attend a week, like it's no worries or
But
anything
Team
like
Kage,
that.
Yeah, I mean that's
Before
always a big issue with D&D in general is just consistent, you know, ability to play. So like
It's
drop in and
tough
out is pretty
sometimes.
normal, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Team Kage, for you to join, you have to kick Christian's character in the balls.
Okay. Well, Christian and I will talk. So,
they
hey
they
man, I'm gonna kick your character in the balls. I'm sorry.
they've kind of turned the game a little bit into Civilization Builder a little bit, which is
Okay.
very fun in its own right.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Listen, Christian's characters just didn't expect to have his balls get crushed.
Poor Christian.
Well, I
Voice
did
goes
almost
up
all
to
of
half
his
a
health.
pitch every time it happens.
Christian and I know each other pretty decent, so yeah, I'll talk to him about it. Be like, hey man, I was told that I've got to do this, so
You don't even have to tell him, just do it, you know? He'll
Okay.
understand.
Like the
Fair
hazing
enough.
ritual, you know? Only instead of you getting hazed, it's Christian's character.
Listen, after you hear his character, you'll understand why you just need to kick him right in the fucking
Okay.
balls. It's plain,
yeah, Otter, let's talk about it. We'll figure out a day that I can hop in there. Try it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I can add you to the Discord
Yeah.
group just in general, see what works.
Cool.
Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap this up.
I could get drawing done this weekend though.
Wait,
gonna
I'm
draw
not
all
done
week.
drawing yet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, animated. That's looking awesome, man.
It's coming along. I'll have to really figure
Those
out how
clouds
to
are
do.
really, really pretty impressed how quickly you did that. Looks great.
The
Oh, it's-
gradients are what adds a ton to it.
Yeah.
I love this brush, the less dry brush. It's great for just nice texture and stuff like that. So, right now, I'm really trying to figure out a good, quick technique to figure out the lighting and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna keep this pretty simple, not do what I've been doing, and go for more of a steal from an animated show or something like that. Is what I'm thinking.
All right.
Nice.
Can't
So-
wait to see what
Well,
you do there.
Anime Moon, on that note, why don't you be the first to heal?
All right. You can find my work on my Twitter, my Blue Sky, my Kara, as well as on YouTube, where I stream twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been working. I'm starting to get work done on the next batch of pages for the comic, and you can read the comic now. Thank you very much to Frederick's hard work. On my NeoCities, the animated moon.neocities.com, I believe, or .org, where you can read all of the pages that are available of the comic, nice and conveniently with a nice reader that Frederick let me borrow.
That's right. Read people.
Yep, I'm super excited about that. It's a lot easier to read. It's more convenient than ever, so now's a great time to read it. But yeah, so that's the big thing. Is I'll be working on more pages for that in the next couple months, hopefully, as well as other stuff on my YouTube. So yeah, be sure to follow me there.
Nice. Tinkake.
You can find me over at Tenkage HQ on Twitter X or tenkage.substack.com. Plan on updating that, so you can catch me over there as well.
Nice. Umbrella Cat Chan Kun Sensei.
You can find me on Twitter/X, Instagram, DeviantArt, and YouTube, all under Umbrella Cat, where I sometimes do art.
Nice. Frederick.
And if you enjoyed this stream and you want more and more streams with people like this drawing, you can go to proofofcomics.com and follow my art stream on Tuesdays. And if you want to follow the comic book, ratelcomic.com will take you there. And am I forgetting anything else? I think that's pretty much it. It's big essential stuff.
I think so.
What
Otter.
do you mean by people? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what do you mean by people? You know, Tinkage, you missed it, but he was talking about the new blacks that he bought.
Oh God.
Well,
And
this is why I need to be on time. So, all right.
Here we go again.
gonna
So
become
come
a
to my
running
channel because my goal is to be demonetized. But before I can do that, I need to get monetized. So we need to get to 1,000 subscriptions, and then Billy Bob will take us right off the monetization.
That's right. And then we'll unveil Black Tarzan.
Follow Frederick. That hell's an awesome comic. Check it out, guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
That's
that.
right. Otter.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter and X as well. I also have a YouTube channel where I usually do gaming streams on Fridays. Not always, but most of the time anyway. We're usually playing Minecraft or something of the sort. A healthy bit of Dwarf Fortress as well, which is always a good time. On top of that, you can find my debut novel, The Curse of the Star Raids, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the big retailers. I'm getting close to being finished with this second book of mine. Relatively close anyway. So be on the lookout for that. That's pretty much where you can find me.
Nice. Well, this has been fun. Thanks for everyone for showing up. And next Thursday on Halloween, I think at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be doing the final art Halloween chill streams, in which we'll be reviewing what movie was picked.
Dog Night.
What was the movie that was picked? Final Girl and then Dog Soldiers.
Dog
Final
Soldiers,
Girl.
that's it.
Yeah, Dog Soldier. So double feature. All right.
That's right. With
I
that,
owe a couple pictures too. So
yeah, you owe 3 now.
Well, I owe 2, and then I've got the 1. Yeah,
That's some heavy art debt you got there, man. You're
Hey,
about
man.
to be a real artist.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
When it starts crushing your
I know.
soul, you're there.
I thought about that today. I was like, man, I could meet a deadline. It's like good. It's not a good start.
I'm feeling stressed out. This is it. I made it.
Have a good night.
Oh,
Right, everybody.
downhill
Peace
from
out.
there.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long.